What is up, folks? Greetings and welcome to another installment of Games Bond. NPC, what is good? Lurkers in chat, VOD viewers, and everybody else. MTI, for example, what is up? Greetings, welcome everybody. Hope you're doing well. You're doing well. What is up is more Bond action. Finally, the pace of advancement in Games Bond saw a serious hit. The 1-2 punch of not just having to take a bit of a break because my work schedule was very intense, but then also having to get through the stealth affair, which was, well, it was quite the affair. But it was, you know, it was still fun. I enjoyed it. It's not a very good game, but it was interesting. It was, you know, it was worth it. No regrets. But I'm looking forward to a change of pace. I'm looking forward to different styles of Bond games. Although for tonight's stream we will be more or less returning to somewhat familiar territory, as tonight's game will be another text adventure sorts anyway. I don't know too many details, but that's you know, that's what we're here to figure out. But yeah, the Operation Stealth was, I don't know, I'm glad to have it behind me. I guess we can put it that way. I was spending a little bit of time today trying to catch up a little bit with some VOD uploading and highlighting and editing, etc. stuff. I'm by no means entirely caught up, but I was trying to make sure to set up proper highlights for the Operation Stealth playthrough. And in doing so, I've got highlights mostly sorted out. There's some other uploads that I need to, like the earliest, the first two parts that I did before the break, they're up on YouTube. But I think, if memory serves, I had to do some offline editing to stitch together VODs because we were having disconnection issues and stuff. So I don't think I bothered actually uploading those videos back to Twitch, but you'd probably prefer to watch them on YouTube anyway. But they should be there. But after I was kind of looking over those things, I realized that I'd actually made a mistake, kind of unsurprisingly, I suppose, all things considered. A bookkeeping mistake, I guess we can call it, in that the playtime for Operation Stealth, aka the Stealth Affair, is not accurate. I had started playing the game on my old PC, and during the break I had gotten my new PC, and I had to sort of arrange a few things to kind of attempt to pick up where we left off. And in my attempts to do so, I had mistakenly written down or made note of the playtime at the end of the wrong stream. Basically, I mean, we sort of started over from the beginning after the break anyway, but I would have wanted the time, you know, all the time spent to be included, even though the timing is a little haphazard. But long story short, on the record currently, the completion time for Operation Stealth is, let's check, 13 hours, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. But that time does not then... I just noticed I missed another thing there. There we go. The game's completed. You can, of course, see what I'm talking about in the Games Bond spreadsheet right there. Stealth Affair was listed and completed in 13 hours, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. But that time then does not include one stream's worth of playtime, and that adds up to about 3 hours. So I'm gonna try to check the tapes and get a proper accurate number there, but I would say, you know, in the ballpark of 16 hours is a more accurate completion time. And I think, depending on how we choose to go about some of these other games, I feel like it's going to be a while until we hit another game with 16 hours completion time. It's, you know, for something you can kind of get through without a bunch of cheating, which we used for some of the earlier computer games. It's a pretty hefty length. Never go out without your elastic bands. Yeah, of course. That's just good life advice. Yeah, the rubber band is used literally the last thing you do in the entire game. I guess I won't spoil the details. But it's very funny because, I mean, there's a lot of things about the Stealth Affair that is just a bit of a complete mess. It has awesome visual presentation and music. It's got a few really cool kind of set piece moments, and then it's got a whole bunch of bullshit. I feel like it's... I don't know. I mean, sure. By the time the original version came out in 1989, adventure games, you know, there were good ones, of course, but I feel like stuff like the 90s LucasArts stuff made such quantum leaps, specifically when it comes to quality of life and kind of usability, playability, that it can be kind of hard to go back to those kinds of games, no matter if it's you know, really high budget mainstream tentpole releases, or if it's like weird single dev text adventures or anything in between. But I think a lot of what's kind of annoying about the Stealth Affair isn't something you can strictly attribute to its age, because it's not as if there weren't plenty of adventure games to look at and say, you know, maybe we should try avoiding this thing, or that's probably going to be a bit annoying. Like, a lot of it seems, you know, kind of designed to be, on the one hand, designed to be difficult more so than anything else, but it's also like, you know, a lot of the issues of the game aren't strictly to do with the puzzles or the solution or the game's kind of inscrutability. It's more like, I think that's what I found so kind of baffling and a little bit frustrating about the game. It kind of fails on a lot of pretty, you know, low-hanging fruit kind of levels, like the fact that there's so little actual writing in it, the fact that certain types of interactions are incredibly inconsistent, the fact that the one extremely consistent thing is that the manual describing all the various gadgets you're going to use throughout the game describes every single gadget completely inaccurately. And like, it creates a lot of friction where there really didn't need to be any, and it's hard to look at it and see, you know, that someone convincingly could have made the argument that those things were deliberate in order to kind of increase the level of challenge, because they do so in a very strange way. It's like either it was completely inept, or it was extremely like ill-advised, and it's hard to say which is worse. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of that's the thing, right? There's a lot of kind of old adventure game conventions, a lot of stuff games would do that would kind of, you know, extend the playtime of the game or increase the challenge in whatever number of ways. But the things that kind of drove me nuts about the Stealth Affair, surprisingly to me, were not those kinds of things for the most part, not at all. It was much more about, you know, I go into a scene and it's like the amount of interactable things are, you know, it's so small. There's so few things you can actually do that you kind of go into a scene and you, like, on several occasions playing through the game, I would go like, all right, so I guess I meant to do this, or like, I wonder if I can do this. And like the first instinct turns out to be entirely accurate, because it's like the most straightforward, obvious thing. And like there's not a lot of kind of interesting, like whenever you figure out the solution to something, you never feel clever because you thought of something like really outside the box, like, aha, this is such a smart thing to do such and such. Like, you just kind of come back. You've gone full circle about like 45 laps and kind of just arrived back when you started. And like finally you just figured out what highly specific, quirky way the game is demanding you execute the particular thing, because that's the challenge. You're like never challenged to think creatively about how to solve a puzzle. The puzzle pieces are kind of laid out very bare, and it's kind of obvious what's going on. It's just like incredibly specific and like weird for no observable reason how exactly to get the game to do what you want it to do. And a lot of it just feels weird, and it just doesn't really feel deliberate. Or maybe I'm just giving it the benefit of the doubt, where it's like, if this was deliberately this way, like what possible excuse could there be for it? And again, a good example is the manual going to great lengths to describe all the gadgets, but it absolutely feel like the manual was written either like half a year before the game came out, so everything had like changed in it, or like it just doesn't line up. And it's not like the way it doesn't line up is also so weird. Like it made me second guess like the extremely obvious use for a gadget. You know, you have a cigarette that does something with fingerprints, and we're in a place where there's a fingerprint scanner, and in our inventory we have a glass that a person has held who would presumably have fingerprint clearance, and it took us like a full stream and a half to figure out how to use the fingerprint gadget on the glass to get the fingerprints. Despite that being like almost my first assumption. But when you kind of try to perform an action and you get no feedback, it just doesn't work, and a game doesn't tell you why. You start like the game, it's like, yeah, you're just kind of being gaslit into thinking you shouldn't try something or whatever, because like the game, if the game gives you any kind of feedback whatsoever, it's just a pithy narration kind of mocking you for trying things. And then you look at the manual and you try to read the descriptions more carefully, and it's like, well, it says here that the fingerprint thing is gonna like send the results to a database so I can find out the identity of the owner of this fingerprint. Which, you know, that's not gonna help you get through a fingerprint scanner. But in the actual game, well, guess what? The fingerprint device copies a fingerprint so you can use it in a scanner. That's what it does. It doesn't at all do what the manual says it does. So I don't know. It was a baffling kind of experience. But the thing is, like, I think there's so many things wrong with it that it would be, you know, it'd be hard to fix or tweak the game. Like there would be required a lot of kind of changes to fix it. And then, you know, interestingly enough, and I'm happy about this, as it turns out, the version we played is, of course, the Bond branded version. The game originally came out in 1989, and was, you know, kind of a Bond pastiche. It's not licensed, and it's kind of taking the piss, and it's, you know, it's sort of a loving homage, but it's not very serious. And then when the game came out in America in 1990, Interplay got, or had, or whatever, secured the 007 license so they can actually put the official 007 branding on the game. And apparently in that version there were a lot of minor changes to the game. There were some screenshots and stuff pointed out on my Discord, and it was mentioned in chat as well during the streams. But like the writing, the English is like still strange, but apparently a lot of the text was kind of tidied up and rewritten. Obviously they changed the main character's name to James Bond and stuff like that, but there's like actual improvements to like the English grammar and stuff. And even then you read the writing and it's like very clearly non-native English. There were a couple of horrible maze sections, which, yeah, they were a bane of 80s adventure games for sure. 90s ones for a little bit too. And I hated them, and they were by far the worst part of the game, but apparently the mazes were like 6 times worse in the original release. So we kind of got off easy. I hated the maze parts, but they were at least, you know, progress through the mazes were smooth. But I think what I hated most about the mazes weren't even really doing them, but more about the threat of having to redo them multiple times, which we ended up doing, but we only had to redo, I think we only had to redo one of the maze sections, and only once. Like, because it turned out that I was missing a key item that had to be collected before the maze section in question. But, you know, having the mazes completely kills, not just like, you know, it doesn't just make it a terrifying prospect of having to go back and load an earlier save while you're in the middle of a playthrough, but also the idea of like going back to a game and replaying it. You know, I can go back to Monkey Island or whatever, which coincidentally has a few mazes, but they're kind of all like most of the LucasArts stuff, they're kind of puzzle based. Like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade had some honest to God straight up mazes, and they were the weakest part of that game too. And even some of the Sierra games that have like ill-advised action sequences, like the speeder bike section or whatever in Space Quest 1, like, yeah, those are all kind of shit too. But they're brief enough, and there's like usually not that much of it, so you can still stomach the idea of going back to replaying one of those games. Now, of course, I have a recency bias, but frankly, well, I mean, and it's for a lot of reasons, but I don't think I can't imagine going back to the Stealth Affair to replay it, because, you know, the maze sections kind of kill it, and it, you know, because a lot of the problems with it, of course, once you know the solution, they're less of a problem. But the maze stuff, you know, you can't, having a solution doesn't help when you still have to kind of go through it. But anyway, I think we have spent enough time chatting about the Stealth Affair on this stream. It was enjoyable enough, but like I said, I'm happy to put it behind me and move on. It's a bit of a shame that that's possibly the closest, probably I should say, as close as we're going to get to a decent graphical adventure starring James Bond. There's been a good handful of adventure games of various flavors, and we still have at least one more after that. Maybe more, who knows? And I do think these kinds of games are a sensible fit for the James Bond kind of property and character, because, you know, he's a man of action, sure, but he's also a man of intellect, a man of cunning, a man of subterfuge and, you know, clever problem solving. And it's hard to get any of that across in like a straight up action game. And, you know, as we've seen so far, almost every game, you know, except for when we play through, you know, like the multiple text adventures from Angelsoft, which were very similar. Every attempt from a different developer, we could say, ends up having a very different take on the source material. And that will continue to be a thing for, you know, a couple more games. Well, more than a couple, actually. I feel like GoldenEye for the N64 is like the real kind of shift. There's a bit of a gap between the Duel and GoldenEye. A gap from 1993 to 1997. A time frame within which, if you think about it, an awful lot happened in video games in general. But from GoldenEye onwards, there's a bunch of portable games, there's mobile games, there's going to be variety. But I feel like there is a homogenization in approach that, you know, kind of handily mirrors a lot of how, you know, kind of the games industry and design trends changed overall. Having said that, you know, it's not like it's going to be all boring from then on. There's going to be some bangers, and I haven't played most of them, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I still think, I still trust, I have faith that we're still going to see a decent amount of variety Even if there are mostly, you know, there's an awful lot of first-person shooters, having different takes on a similar kind of approach, a similar concept, means we get to compare them more directly to each other and see which games manage to do novel stuff in spite of following a familiar template. We'll see just kind of different takes on a first-person shooter. But again, it's not like every game after GoldenEye is an FPS either. Even among the bigger console games, there's some amount of variety for sure. Anything else that we need to address? Trying to think. I'm still in some kind of Easter weekend semi coma here, sleeping terribly, eating well, but also kind of eating terribly in a different sense. Slightly worried about returning to some kind of everyday normalcy tomorrow morning, going back to work and all that, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Anyway, why don't we hop on over to the main scene and take a little bit of a look, a preview, if you will, of tonight's adventure. Tonight's game will be Secret Mission number 2. 007 Aqua Base. So why don't we do a little bit of research here? Let's gather some data and see what we can learn about this game. Secret Mission 002 is TI Ventures 007 Aqua Base. This game was released for the Texas Instruments computer TI-99-4-4A. I just realized the text is not written correctly. It says A4. Whatever. We can figure that out. This game was written by Scott Morgan and released by the American Software Design and Distribution Company in 1982. What is up, Zetsubera? Greetings, and it is indeed time to game. 007 Aqua Base is a text adventure and the first game in the TI Ventures series. As can be expected, it is inspired by James Bond books and movies, with the player taking the role of the secret agent. An evil computer operator is planning to blow up the world. That seems counterproductive. But anyway, the player's task is to find his hidden Aqua Base, backfire his lasers, and then escape before everything blows up. It all has to be done within 19 minutes. Let me see if I can grab a better view of the cover there, at least for myself, to kind of read what it says. What kind of materials do I have here? It looks like I have a... okay. I have a little addendum to the manual. I don't know if that helps. Do I have a manual? I have a couple of PDFs here. Let me take a look. Looks like it. Well, okay, sure. We should just take a look at this in a moment. Jay, what's up? Is this the first TI-99 game I have played on stream? Yes, it will be the first TI-99 game I have ever touched in any capacity. This required a decent deal of setting up, so shout outs to Vinot79, who was a good help in getting this sorted. It's always a little bit irksome and stressful figuring out weird old computer systems. But as far as I could tell, I could at least boot it up and start playing, so we should hopefully be good to go. Give me a second here, and we will be taking a look at the packaging slash manual, I guess. There we go. Let's get this a little more presentable, interactive. There we go. Zoom in a bit here. TI Ventures 007 Aqua Base. This one is for the beginning adventurer. Well, we'll see about that. You're Secret Agent 007. Your mission is to find the evil computer operator who is planning to blow up the world. He is hidden in his Aqua Base. Can you find his hideout in time to destroy the laser and his base? You only have 90 minutes. Help feature included. This is the first of a great series. Now with sound effects. Alright, difficult to beginner, 12 to adult. So, it is kind of interesting. I have no real familiarity with the TI-99 or American Software Design and Distribution Company. But, yeah, this is a game that is certainly in the running. I'm sure one could find more concrete evidence one way or the other. I didn't dig extremely deep into the issue, but this could possibly be the first James Bond computer or video game released. You may note that there is no mention anywhere of MGM or Eon or Albert Broccoli or whoever, but it was 1982. We did, of course, play the secret mission number 1, which was Shaken But Not Stirred, another single dev text adventure, although it wasn't really just a text adventure. That's definitely underselling it. But an unlicensed Bond game also released in 1982. I'm not sure. I think maybe this one actually did come out first, but it's hard to find any conclusive information one way or the other because release dates were not exactly super, firm and exact. And I don't even know exactly how these games were sold and distributed. From what research I was able to do with regards to Shaken But Not Stirred, the developer of that game basically ran some sort of operation out of his garage, it sounded like with his wife or whatever, and it kind of grew into something or other, but they probably didn't have a massive distribution network. You probably couldn't buy these games on a store shelf, and I don't know what the situation would have been for this game either. So even if you spoke to people involved, I'm sure you could possibly piece together some kind of timeline, but even then, there may exact dates may not exist in any form, So we're playing these things in a sort of kind of chronological way to the best of our ability. What's up, Itinerant Soldier? Yeah, that's a good point too. With mail order stuff, that makes it even more kind of inexact. And things could have been advertised 6 months before they were even available, and in other cases they might have been available, but not the only surviving record of any kind of advertisement for it may be from 6 months later, or 3 years later. It's hard to know exactly. A game for the System 80 that might be from 1981. Sounds extremely vaguely familiar. I'm sure I made note of it when you linked it, and I'd completely forgotten about it. But without spoiling anything, in preparing some materials for tonight's stream, well, not really for tonight's stream, but for upcoming streams, I think I may have uncovered another Bond game that I didn't know about until tonight. So it's it never ends. Now, for various reasons, I don't know that game is going to be added to the list of regular or hidden secret bonus missions. But we'll see. We'll see. It's very fascinating because I don't know what the reason is exactly. Maybe because it's British or whatever, but Bond just seems to attract a lot of these peculiar unlicensed game releases, which weren't really a thing with like Batman, for example. There was the unlicensed Batman RPG Maker game released as a commercial product of some kind for the Ouya, which I was excited to try and play when I did the Batman project some years ago, but that didn't pan out. I'm not sure if I was unable to get hold of the actual game or how that ended up. I think I may have just decided that, well, it's unlicensed, forget it. But that's definitely a weird one. It's called Batman and Robin, but it's not based on the movie or anything. As I recall from the materials I found about it, it's like a complete piss take and like just a weird joke game. But it existed on whatever kind of storefront, whatever the Ouya had. And I mean, I guess like it was that Android based? I think it was, right? So through some method of playing Android stuff, if you can dig up the APK or whatever, I guess you could probably play it. But those were hoops I could not be bothered jumping through at that time. Maybe in the future, who knows? And, for all we know, we may keep finding new old Bond games. But in the meantime, we have a pretty compelling and pretty meaty list to get through. So I guess we should focus on the task at hand. 007 Aqua Base by Scott Morgan. Copyright 1982. Introduction. Welcome to the world of adventure. An adventure is a game of imagination and problem solving mixed together with logic. I love that they have to explain what this is. An adventure puts you in another place and time, giving you a chance to solve problems while trying to reach a specific goal. To do this, you must give the computer 1 or 2 word commands. These commands are your course of action, i.e. take card. This will be demonstrated in the section entitled Sample Game. I like that they don't even call it an adventure game, they just call it an adventure. There's something like weirdly innocent, sort of? Like, I don't know what the word is for it exactly, but there's something about it that just seems so quaint. Objective. You are a secret agent. Just some, unnamed secret agent. Okay, sure. It is your mission to save the world from destruction by an evil computer operator and his laser. It's also like so weirdly vague. I don't know. You have 90 minutes to backfire the laser and escape from the Aqua Base. Even the name is like so shitty, right? Like it's like not. It's a weird kind of approach to creating a fake Bond stuff. Like even Shaken but Not Stirred, aside from being a very specific Bond reference, is like the kind of imaginative and sort of evocative sort of title that you would expect from, a Bond film or a novel or what have you. Just calling it Aqua Base, and we have to find, like, Scott Morgan is not doing a great job of evoking the kind of the image of Bond in his universe by having Bond, just fight an evil computer operator in his Aqua Base. I'm not saying you have to like use characters from the films or whatever, but Shaken but Not Stirred had the weird little quirk of like using some stuff from the films, but then there's no Money Penny. Instead, there's Ms. Cash Coin. We have to find Dr. Death, and of course, inside his compound, we have to escape his deadly henchman Paws. So it's like a bit jokey, but it's at least trying to, I was gonna say at least it has a bombastic villain and a hidden lair, but I mean technically this game is apparently all about the lair, so it's doing something right. But I feel like it could spice things up a little bit with how they describe things. Anyway, order of play. The game begins with a short title page. Press the spacebar to begin the adventure. Next, the computer pauses a moment to initialize a new game. It's so fascinating just to see the terminology and the verbiage used to describe like the software and the computer, like operating the computer. I find this like really fascinating. The top of the screen will show your location, directions you can travel, and for north, etc., and objects you see, such as a table. Below that line is a line of asterisks, and then the computer's response area. A flashing cursor is where you enter your course of action. To play the adventure, you enter an action, such as look ocean, and then press enter. Note the computer's response and continue the game in this manner until the adventure is done. Like we already have like a few typos also. This weird like typewriter looking. Well, it doesn't look like a typewriter exactly, I guess, because it looks like sort of pixelated, but looks, I don't know. I guess it's made on a 1982 computer. Location. This tells you where you are located. A description of the location might be given. Note this before you move to a new location. Directions for travel. The directions you can travel include the 4 compass directions, north, south, east, and west, as well as U for up and O for out. Okay, that's interesting. A little different. I mean, I'm sure it's an established thing, but it's a little unfamiliar for me. I like there's no down, just up and out. To move north, just press N and then press enter when you input your course of action. Also note that you can travel by saying go to an object such as go car. Try this only when an object doesn't have an obvious direction. Sometimes you can move by operating something such as pushing buttons when you're inside a car. Fair enough. You see. These are objects that you can easily see. Usually they can be taken. To examine an object closer, you can say something such as look screen. To list the objects you are carrying, just say inventory or inv for short. I guess there won't be any examine carefully in this game. The manual helpfully explains that the parser will not accept more than 1 or 2 words. So, no examine X carefully. Input area. Only use 1 or 2 word commands. Look at the sample commands. Okay, we got some triple quotes here. Look at the sample commands sections for examples. Also, be sure that the alpha lock is down when you are playing the game. I'm assuming that's caps lock or something, or maybe it's got like number keys or something on the same keys as like some sort of a function toggle key. I'm assuming. Again, not familiar with the TI-99. Dude, I love the sample game stuff. Like this was in the Angelsoft game. Speaking of examine carefully, they had this like universal manual that they kind of shipped with all of their text adventures because they didn't explain anything about the specifics of each game, but it just kind of it was very interestingly written, by the way. But it sort of went over what an adventure game is, how you play it, and etc. And then much like this, it types out this sort of walkthrough or a log of a kind of fictional playthrough of a game that doesn't exist, or at least isn't the game you're about to play. I think that's a pretty novel and fun idea. Obviously, you don't want to like type out what you're supposed to do in the actual game. What's up, Slippery Elm? Imagine someone playing this and they never get anywhere because they keep typing disable alpha lock. I mean, hey, that's 3 words. You should know better. They should study the manual more closely. All right, let's read this sample game. Location, dark tunnel. Directions, north-south. You see, door and key. Welcome. Computer's response area. Course of action input area. I like that it like writes this out to sort of explain it. Yeah. I mean, even later graphical adventure stuff, like even when you can use more words, not only is it like faster to type simpler commands, but it's usually a lot more reliable as well. Like anything that requires you to like use an item on another item in, you know, most of the kind of Sierra text parser games or whatever, like it's far from a guarantee that you'll get it right on your first try, even if you know exactly what you're supposed to do. Just like giving the parser what it's asking for can be a bit of a challenge. Alpha lock was a key that was only on the 4A. That was caps lock, but it also had a side effect of locking out joysticks. It's fascinating. I guess from the fact that the game, or the manual here, kind of tells you to use the key, means that maybe joysticks, like, it might not be actually necessary. It could just be like a safeguard for potential compatibility issues or something. But maybe like having joystick inputs available somehow breaks something. Who knows? Sample inputs, computer's response. Interesting. Okay, so this is not actually written kind of like as a walkthrough sort of thing, like we saw for the Angelsoft games, but more so actually lists out various sample inputs and what the response will be. Take key, okay. Look key, nothing special. Let's hope we can find better, like, let's hope we can get better kinds of responses for looking at stuff here than in Operation Stealth. Bloop. I don't understand. Or, what? Open door. Can't, it's locked. Or, what? With key. Key doesn't fit. Wow, okay, that's interesting. Like, I guess if you have to use something, you won't just, you can't just type key door. You type open door and it'll ask you to sort of follow up. That's interesting. As screen clears and you move to a new location. Yeah, I suppose that's true, Soldier. Like, maybe it requires caps lock. Like, case sensitive. Sample commands. Take. Help. Aqua base only. That's interesting. I'm curious what kind of help. Like, a help, any kind of help or hint system. For it to be, like, good without giving too much away. There's a certain degree of sophistication that it's going to need. So it might well be very blatant about how it, you know, just tells you exactly what to do. But even if that's the case, so like we might not really want to use it, or it's like maybe a little overzealous. You know, if it can help us get through the entire game, that's pretty convenient too. Look, go, open, N, D. Like, what's the order here? I guess D is down, right? But we were only told previously about up and out. That's fine. Unlock, kill, pull, dig, break, push, eat, tie. The fun will be to discover other commands that are needed to complete an adventure. Okay, that's an interesting take as well. Okay, hints. The help feature only provides limited information. It won't always help you if you get stuck. I suppose that's the other possibility. A crude hint system could give me very specific information, but it might not be like very well tuned to give me the specific information that I actually need at a given point in time. So it might tell us exactly what to do, but then for other parts of the game, it might tell us exactly what we've already done. Or something that just isn't relevant at the time. Or it might just like give no response at certain parts of the game. Who knows? Don't forget the remote control. Once in the water, back you can't go. Alright, we got some Yoda hints here. Or I guess they're just rhymes? Mirror backfires laser right. Push the red button or die of fright. Okay. This isn't so much... Like, that doesn't sound like a hint. So much as, like, vital information. Good luck. Warranty information. Alright, okay. We're good. Well, that's the manual. Let me just see real quick, because there was a... oh yeah, that's right. I won't be able to show this on screen due to stuff to do with my new computer setup here, but I'll just skim this super quick off screen to see. There's an addendum, some kind of errata type document for the manual. Okay, it adds something to... yeah, it tells you about like loading tape and disc versions. Apparently a command to type color to change the display color. This command allows you to alter the color of the screen. Every time you enter color, the screen will inverse, i.e. black on white to white on black. This can be accessed at any time in the adventure. The reason for this is because people like viewing different colors that don't strain their eyes. Like, oh, thank you. Thank you for explaining that people don't like eye strain, and that is why that's an option. Oh shit. Another helpful note here. Please note that if you do something wrong, the computer may crash, and you must enter run to re-enter program. This means starting over! Multiple exclamation points. So it does tell me about save and load commands. I'm not entirely sure those will work, given that I think we're playing on some kind of cartridge image or something. But I also think the game is probably really short. Once you know what to do. So hopefully there's not going to be too much like random instant death nonsense like there was in Chicken But Not Stirred. We'll see. We should hopefully be able to get our way through this without too much trouble. Before we get started, however, it just so happens that tonight, unfortunately, I had a little bit of a scheduling conflict, which means I have to go do some laundry. The only time slot available was right now, so I'm just gonna pop down into the basement and go to the laundry room and do some laundry real quick. But I should be back in like 5 to 10 minutes, and we can then get started on Aqua Base. Hope you guys are sufficiently pumped up and excited about this adventure, the first in a great series, as we were told. It says right here that this is the first of a great series, and with sound effects. Should be good. You did not manage to get save load working. Yeah, it doesn't worry me too much. Hopefully, hopefully we can circumvent it. Good luck on your laundry mission. Yes, thank you. All right, guys, I'll be back shortly. Let's check out Aqua Base in a little bit. All right, I'm back. No major mishaps in the laundry department so far, but I guess we'll see how things hold up in an hour or two. Anyway, with that, we are ready to get started on our adventure. So let me let's see. Let's get a few things set up here. I shall try to arrange some capture. That looks all right. Let me just... Okay, yeah, I think we're good. There we go. Good, get rid of these jams, cool as they are. Wow, okay, there's something... I can't hear anything, but the desktop audio thing in OBS is like claiming that there's a very like constant audio something or other. Hopefully hopefully things are sounding okay on stream. You guys let me know. Let's see, we should also have one of these on here, a little timer. Don't hear anything? Yeah, I don't know, it's just some technicality, I guess, that makes it think like there's some kind of audio thing going on. Everything is fine. Well, thank you for the assurance. Let's see, I believe we go here. User cartridges, recent. Yo, press 1 for TI Basic, press 2 for 007 Aqua Base. I'm gonna press number 2. Well, let's start the timer. Version 2.0, 007 Aqua Base. Press the spacebar to begin the adventure. I wonder if we're gonna need to like take notes and shit. I guess we'll see. Restore previous game. Nope. Location, shack. Directions, north. UC, table. Top right, 1982, American Software Distribution. What was it? Design and Distribution. And Scott Morgan. Welcome. Oh, thank you. Okay, so first things first, we should probably check our inventory to see if we're going into this adventure with anything in our pockets. Lest we be already carrying around some crucial key items that we don't even know about. So let's type in and find out. Inventory, watch. Okay. I don't know if this is a top secret, grappling hook gadget that will save our life, or if it's just a watch, but okay. Maybe in this game you can inspect your items and learn something about them. Unlike the stealth affair. So let's type look watch. Oh man, I can actually type at full speed. Whoa. Okay, wait. Okay, that's a little confusing. All right, okay, never mind. I wanted to retype that sentence because the last time we did something text-based was when we played Shaken But Not Stirred, where if you typed at like reasonably half normal speed, the game would just like skip half of your text inputs. Maybe it was designed for the rubber membrane Spectrum keyboard, so that it like you were not expected to be able to type remotely fast. But this seems to work fine. Look, watch. 88 minutes left. Okay, got it. We were told that we need to backfire the laser and escape the Aqua base within 90 minutes. So I feel like I've already deduced two things here. A, I have a watch in my inventory whose purpose appears to be letting me know how much time I have left. The other thing that would appear to be the case is that each turn, each time I type in a command, 1 minute is deduced. Because I checked my inventory and then I look watch. So presumably if I type look watch again, we will be at 87 minutes. There you have it. I mean, it would seem kind of preposterous for a game like this to have a real-time clock. That's not really something you would expect. So I think having a turn limit to a text adventure like this is like pretty standard, and dressing it up as a time limit with each turn approximating a minute of time passing seems pretty normal. It is probably going to be a little bit funny if you think about it, because certain commands, such as looking at your watch, probably wouldn't take a full minute. However, you know, we could have stuff like the Angelsoft games where you type, you know, walk east, and it's like, well, I stepped into the airport terminal, I got myself a ticket, went through check-in, I got on my plane seat, and I flew across the Atlantic, and then I left the other airport, talked to a taxi driver, and then I ordered him to go to this place. We drove a couple of miles out of state, and like, you have like fucking a week's adventure happening from typing in one command. You know, those games didn't have the... Well, actually, didn't they actually have some kind of time thing? I don't think they had this kind of a strict time limit. The game did not mean to imply that you cross the Atlantic in 1 minute. And I don't think this game will either. But if we have to, like, I don't know, infiltrate an Aqua base and get out of there, somewhere along the line, I think there's going to be singular commands that would take more than 1 minute. So I guess it averages out. Anyway, it's a good thing the time presumably does not advance in real time, because that'd be bad for me with how much I like to just sit around chatting. See, we've already been playing for 5 minutes. It's going to be slower than real timer. Let's look table, I guess. Can we look shack or look around? Nothing special. So here's the question. Is this particular location nothing special? Can we never inspect the location we're in? Or if I type look, and like if I type look banana, right, nothing special. So nothing special means I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But like you typed a verb that I recognize, so I'm just going to pretend that, you know, you looked at something that, you know, I could not see anything special about it. It's well established in the previous game that James Bond has never noticed anything special about anything he's ever looked at in his entire life. So that's consistent. That checks out. But just to kind of familiarize myself with the parser and get a feeling for what to expect here, I type just look. Okay, nothing special. Look around. Whoops. Nothing special. All right. We can't say too much for sure about these this experimenting. However, I would say the implication I'm getting here is that looking around at, you know, trying to inspect the location, probably not going to be worthwhile. Like, at least if I'm thinking with my sort of game design brain, I would think if I'm sort of expected to look around to notice objects or something, or even get a bit of flavor text, that the manual would kind of have a hint to, like, you should always look around, inspect your surroundings, or, you know, something like that. I would also expect that the game, in its literal first screen, like, a game should probably put its best foot forward, right? So if you're kind of expected to look around to find things, it would make sense that, like, the first thing you have to do in the first room is to look around to get some kind of feedback that, hey, that's a clever thing you did, you should probably do that. But right now we're getting no such feedback. So I'm putting a lot of faith here in Mr. Scott Morgan that we won't suddenly be required to do such things later. But if we get stuck, we'll keep that in our back pocket and maybe try it. What's up, McCall? Applying game design brain to a 1982 Ti text adventure is a bad idea. That is true. I can acknowledge that. But as long as we do it with caution, as long as we do it with, you know, the cognizance and awareness, realization that it is a bad idea and that, you know, that it won't help us, then I think it's fair game. Well, we can look table. You see something, and we now see ID card. Makes me wonder what else is on the table, or how this card was apparently not noticeable until we inspected the table. But that's fine. We're just kind of getting a feel for how the game functions. So I guess we probably want to get card. Card? What? Okay, so get probably is not a recognizable verb. The manual's example was specifically take card. So I don't think we're incapable of procuring the card. I think it just doesn't understand the word get. Take card? Okay. So presumably... Wait, did I even try looking at the card before I took it? I don't think I did. What I was going to say is presumably item descriptions will be the same whether the item is in my room or in my inventory. Either way, let's try looking card. You see your picture. Okay, so I guess it's my ID card. At least we looked at an object and we got a response. That's a positive development. Okay, so I should be able to just type N to go north, right? Oh, sound effects. We got footsteps. Okay, we went out of the shack and we're now on a beach. Directions, north, south. Okay, so it's not diagonals or anything. There's not a north-south diagonal. We can go north or we can go south. So south would put us back in the shack. We have a car. I'm guessing... I'm having, like... I don't know, somewhat painful flashbacks to the car driving mechanics of Goldfinger and A View to a Kill, which were kind of oddly convoluted. Who knows how it will work here. I guess we should always, like, at least on our first playthrough, we should, assuming, you know, we should assume that we're not going to beat the game. So we should just spend this whole first attempt is purely for data gathering. So we should look at stuff. Of course, we know now that in the first screen we need to look at the table to get the card, but looking at our watch or looking at the card is probably not helping us achieve any goals. In fact, looking at the watch seems a bit fucked that looking at the watch will always cost you time, because it kind of means that it's never, like, it's always detrimental. Like, every time you do it, you will lose a turn, but knowing how many turns you have left, I feel like it's like psychologically, it's like good to know, but it won't actually help you. Like, at no point in the game would looking at the watch ever be kind of the right choice to make, right? It's you know, it's, I don't know. I'm applying game design logic to a 1982 Ti text adventure game. I realize that. I just cannot help being analytical. But in the meantime, let's look car. Nothing special. I refuse to believe that. Assuming this is James Bond's car, I'm going to have to assume that there will be at least something special about it. Can I go car? Actually, let me go north first and see. Actually, let me type look beach. Nothing special. I'm going to try looking around in a couple of screens just to further establish that it's not going to do anything. Let's try walking north. Okay. We're on the dock. You see a remote control and an ocean. I can probably see ocean so that I can type go ocean or something. Let me double check the hint. What did the manual say about the remote control? Don't forget the remote control. Once in the water, back you can't go. Alright, okay. Yeah, don't quit your day job, Scott Morgan. I don't think the rhyming thing is gonna be too bright of a future. But, I mean, okay. I guess that means we're supposed to walk to this screen to collect our remote control. And then we're probably, I don't know, driving into the ocean to, like... I'm just trying to think. Yeah, because Live and Let Die... Wait, is that the one? Shit, I'm trying to remember. Live and Let Die had, like, the boat chase and shit, but did it have the underwater car? I'm trying to think, because the Live and Let Die game had the... that was the game that was just driving boats, which was, like, not a Bond game, but they put the Bond title on it. And then... License to Kill had the sick, like, underwater stage, was it? No, it was The Spy Who Loved Me. That's the one that had the boat stuff. Okay, yeah, right. I'm trying to think. So that movie was probably out before then, right? Because Live and Let Die was like 73. And View to a Kill was Roger Moore's last Bond film, and that was 85? I'm just trying to think if, like, this game would have been... Oh, yeah, because the amphibian car is in the Atari 2600 game, and that was from, like, 83. So whenever The Spy Who Loved Me came out, it would have been before this, most likely. Work meeting? Well, good luck with that. Well, can I look remote control, or is that too many words? Nothing special. Can I look remote? Nothing. Actually, can I take remote control? Can't. Was it too many words? Take control. Okay. Oh, so if I look control, nothing special. Okay. Inv. ID card, remote control, watch. So I have no idea what the remote control controls. But I guess once we go into the water, we can't go back up. So whether we're supposed to go driving underwater with our car or not, we need to inspect everything as thoroughly as we can while we're still on dry land here. Can we look ocean? I guess I still can't type too fast here. You see a coral reef to the east. Interesting. I wonder if performing that look command unlocked like a moving direction in the ocean or something. Well, let's go back south. Okay. So go car should let us go inside the car. I think is what the manual implied. Okay. Okay, door closes. Okay, so we got locations north-south. You see car, buttons marked blue, brown, NSEW. So we don't like turn the key in the ignition and press like the gas pedal and like steer with a steering wheel. No, we have a fucking Mahjong game control panel with just a series of buttons, and we just like press the button for each direction that we're going to move, I guess. I mean, sure. Why not? So if I type E, will I crash into a wall and die? Or will it just not let me? We just hear some footstep noises and can't go there. Actually, I wonder if... Is this separate? Well, actually, let me type S. See what happens. Do I go out of the car? Like, do I perform a south movement command or do I press the S button? Can't go there. Okay. So that means I'm attempting to drive with the buttons, I suppose. Okay. Well, I guess we go north then. Can't go there. Okay, that's unexpected. Oh, well, maybe I'm trying to walk and I just cannot walk in the car. So what if I type press N? What? Push N? Okay, that worked. So if I push E, nothing happens. Okay, well, we got a pretty intelligent car here. It just refuses to go. Fair enough, fair enough. Well done, Q. Dude, imagine fucking Bond movie. Q gives him a car. It's just like, it's disguised as a regular car, but then he sits in the driver's seat and the steering wheel just folds away and it's just like a control panel pops out and it's just got 4 buttons on it. Like in the shape of a compass or whatever. He just like has to type his direction. I guess there's some blue and brown buttons next to it also, but pretty good. I'm kind of tempted to go into the water without the car to see what happens. But I guess I don't know for a fact that this is correct either. And we're probably going to game over at some point or another, so we can try different things next time if the opportunity presents itself. In the meantime, why don't we push N and go for swim? No sound effect, no transition, no nothing. You're underwater. Location underwater. Directions north, west, east. I don't see the car anymore, by the way. I saw the car in the first screen, but that's fine. Okay. So we saw from above that there was a coral reef to the east. And I wonder if that was like somehow added because I looked. Or if it would always have been there. The last screen you saw ocean, not even the car. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. The car was like parked. So probably like as far as the game logic is concerned, we're sort of like carrying the car in our inventory, sort of. What's up, Atomic Runner? Yes, it's more text adventuring. This time on a brand new, well, it's very old, but it's new to me, different kind of computer, the Texas Instruments TI-99. And it's another unlicensed joint. I don't think we can expect the level of excitement that we got from Shaken But Not Stirred. No pause or anything, but it seems charming in its own right. I mean, we should probably try to apply some kind of logical. Like, I don't know if I should map this out or anything, but like, let's try a systematic approach to combing through the possible locations to see where we need to go. So given that we started in the shack, went to the dock, went into the water, we're kind of going from the bottom up. So I kind of want to comb west to east before I go further north. So let's push W. You drown. Okay. We probably need to push a button to activate underwater mode in our car. That seems like a good idea. Okay. Yes, again. We don't have to restore. Although, speaking of which, why don't I type save and see what happens? Save game. Aha. Okay, so let me just check real quick. I'm very unfamiliar with this emulator, and even more unfamiliar with the actual TI-99 hardware. So I'm assuming I would guess that there's probably some way to generate like empty disks to create a disk image that we could use to write to. But I do not know how this works, and I don't think that it's worth trying to spend time. I'm also going to make the assumption here that if Vinod couldn't figure it out, I definitely won't be able to figure it out. So let's just ignore it. Exit option. Okay, that's fine. Look table, take card, go north. Whoa. Why do we see the car buttons? I get, is this some weird like memory thing? It's just like retaining information here. Yeah, like we're playing this game off of a cartridge, but it was like an image, whatever, repackaged something or other from like 2021. I'm assuming it's done so that whether it's played on a real computer or emulator, you don't have to worry about loading, etc. But either way, like the game clearly is indicating something to be inserted into disk slot DSK1, assuming that the original version of this game would have been played off of DSK0. But I you know, there has to be something, presumably, for the emulator to write to. But like I said, I'm not going to bother trying to figure it out. And I won't look into it. I won't bother looking into it unless we reach a point where it feels like completing the game in a single session without saving is like not viable. But I strongly doubt that will be the case. So if I walk north now, can't go there. Did I automatically enter the car? Go out, I guess. Can't go there. Leave, or exit maybe is a better word. Exit car. What? Leave car. Go car. Can't go there. Okay. So what if we push N? Okay. We're just in our car whether we accept it or not. Well, we should be able to take the remote control if that's the case, right? Nope, I can't. Great feedback. So can I... Oh, wait. Maybe I just type O for out. Can't go there. Fuck's sake. Alright, okay, so we're screwed. Unless we can go out. Open door. Can't. Look. R. Look. Ocean. Look. Buttons. Control. Take control. I want to take control, but I can't. Okay. Do I need to like reboot the game so I'm not stuck in the car or in some like semi inside the car, outside car limbo existence? Let me look at the manual again. Yeah, the directions you can travel include the 4 compass directions, as well as U for up and O for out. Also note that you can travel by saying go to an object, such as go car. Try this only when an object doesn't have an obvious direction. Sometimes you can move by operating something such as pushing buttons when you're inside a car. Yeah, so now it doesn't, like, I can't travel north. I forget if that's what I did. Well, let me, you know, we're just data collecting anyway. If I understand correctly, the original was released only on tape. Well, I guess that makes more sense than it being released on discs or floppy, whatever. That makes a lot more sense. But either way, yeah, the point is, would have been Or maybe DSK. I mean, it sounds like floppy, but yeah, I guess it's not. Well, whatever. I'm glad that we don't have to deal with emulating tape shit, because that's like, I don't know, potentially a hassle and a half. All right, let's try pushing some other buttons. So the blue probably has to do with water. So assuming it's the complete wrong thing to do, let's push brown and see what happens. You are ejected out of the car. Well, okay, we're out of the car. That's good. Okay, progress. I suppose. I mean, it sounds like we're still alive, and the car is not on the dock, but we should not have been able to drive it in the first place, so it might still be on the beach. In any case, we should be able to take control. It's a very funny sentence to type in here. Okay. We go south. There's a car. So we just drove to the dock without the car, ejected ourselves out of the car in which we were not sitting. We safely land on our feet to collect a remote control something or other, and then we just casually stroll back to our car, which we will now go. Okay, door closes. All right. So now we can push N. So I'm going to guess the blue button is for engaging underwater mode, and that is probably safest to do once we are in the water, because it's probably gonna, like, I don't know, fucking unfold the wheels or some shit, which you probably don't want to do unless you're in water. That's my best guess. You know, aside from the phantom car you know, limbo situation, so far the game seems extremely kind of simple and straightforward, which is a nice change of pace from Operation Stealth. But we'll see how things develop. So push N, because we get one chance at entering a command, right? You're underwater. Okay, so we're not dead yet. So the game did note that the cars were, or the doors were closed. Presumably that includes windows being rolled all the way up. If not, it's not being very forthcoming with those kinds of details. And I hope the game isn't gonna like punish us and kill us for not doing things like that. That's a pretty, I feel like that happened a little bit in the other games, and it seems like a kind of typical text adventure thing. Not necessarily typical in that it's like very common or like always happening, but something that is a little bit inherent to the format, which is, you know, missing, like failing to do crucial things that the player is going to kind of assume that the character would do. It's like having to type in a command to breathe or something, or you'll choke and die. I mean, that's a bit of an extreme example, but it's more, I guess, that's like having to type in a command to do something which you would never think to do unless you knew that a certain thing existed, and the only way to know that a thing exists is by typing some other set of commands to like discover the object, etc. Even though in reality, if you were in that situation, that object being present would be like extremely self-evident, or whatever it might be. In this case, you know, the game, if we're just hypothesizing, making shit up, if it turns out that the windows are rolled down, it would be a little bit funny, but certainly a bit of a dick move on the game's part to like never let me know that the windows are rolled down, just telling me we're underwater and then we drown. I don't expect that to be a thing, but I'm certainly I'm trying to be vigilant for what may be going on in the worst case scenario. Anyway, let's try pushing blue and see if that helps us. Well, I feel like my reasoning behind my my attempts was pretty sound, but I guess not. Okay, so if I type N, does it exit the program? Did something. Okay. Okay, so if I reset here, I've got a cold reset option to erase RAM, warm reset, leave RAM. debug reset scramble RAM. Let's just cold reset. I'm assuming the cartridge is like still inserted. Is that a thing? Let's... Yep, okay. Okay, so look table, okay, card, go north. Okay, we're outside the car, good. I'm gonna go north. And I'm not gonna look at the ocean, because I'm curious to see if the coral reef will be visible or not. Take control. Okay, interesting. I hitting backspace doesn't erase text, I guess. So I did a typo, and then I pressed backspace, and then I pressed enter. But the letter E is still there, so I have to press the delete key. And there we go, yeah, all right. We're learning how TI-99 computers work. Actually, why don't we try going into the ocean manually? Can't go there. Okay, well, at least we can rule that out. Am I ever going to update my profile picture with a beard? I pretty much haven't updated it since like 2012 or something, so probably not. You know, it's I should completely replace it for sure, but you know, that means I have to put some thought into what I replace it with, and that requires a kind of effort that I don't know that I can put into that kind of thing. I can put that kind of effort into a lot of nonsense. But updating my profile picture to something that I like, that actually represents me, I don't know. Although I will say that I'm also like, I get kind of annoyed, and I know this isn't necessarily completely rational, but like I can get, I can find it frustrating when people like change profile images, or you know, just it can be disorienting, because I feel like I need. I'm good with names if I can, like, I'm good with faces, I guess is the better way of putting it. Like, I have a strong ability to learn names and memorize them quickly if I'm like I was I would always amaze many of my coworkers when I did more teaching, because I would have a class of like 40 something students and I would memorize everyone's name in like a week, and everyone would be like, how do you even do that? I'm like, I don't know. However, if I don't have faces to names, like with all, you know, interacting with people online, I have a much harder time, not just like knowing, like remembering names, but also like keeping people apart. So I always find it really, like, I can struggle with that kind of thing. If people, I mean, when people change usernames, that's the worst. So I'm on like Discords and shit. Like I remember even back in the like MSN Messenger days, like when you could just change your display name, that shit used to drive me up the wall. So I would always put like custom names for everyone so I could like keep track of who is who. And when people do that shit on Discord too, that's like, dude, I don't know how anyone keeps track of who is who. That's crazy. So I feel like changing a profile picture is not something I take lightly, I guess. Have my profile picture grow a beard. I mean, that's a very, very funny idea. Unfortunately, it's also one that requires effort. I mean, I think the bigger thing is, like, if I wanted to change it or update it, I wouldn't, like, make adjustments to it. Like, I would just completely come up with something new. And like I've said, I've used it for so long that I think it's, like, me making a change to it is not the same as people changing their icon on Twitter or Discord every week. You know, I think it's fine. It's justified. But mostly I'm lazy. Yeah, I mean, like, seeing icons, it is helpful. But I mean, I have thought, like, I've actually put some amount of thought into like branding, which is not something I like really bother with otherwise, but like for my stream, as well as like Twitter, YouTube, like I have a presence on various different sites and platforms, and it would probably be a good idea to unify it, to make it a little easier for people to sort of associate one with the other, as well as being able to use it for like graphics, or whatever it might be. So I guess that's the other thing. Like, if wanting to change it isn't just something as simple as just changing that picture, because I would want to do it a bit more properly and like overhaul it. And anyway, that's a long, big rabbit hole of a discussion that was not asked for, I think. But there's your answer. All right, so we cannot go to ocean, or rather go ocean. That means we've seemingly exhausted most of our possibilities so far. So pressing blue didn't do anything after we drive into the ocean. So I suppose we can try pressing the blue button before we do so. So let's go back south. Let's go car. Door closes. I guess we could try the button right now, but we may as well, like, in case the blue button launches us into the ocean or something, we might as well drive to the dock first. So push. Actually, what happens if I push E and nothing happens? Actually, push S. What happens then? Nothing. Okay. Push N. Okay, we're on the dock. We see oceans, blah, blah. All right. So now, if I push blue, car turns into submarine. Very well. You would think that a car turning into a submarine would be a nice feature. Like, it seems like it would be difficult to drive a submarine into the water from the dock. But what do I know? I guess we are now in a submarine and not a car. But let's push N. And we are underwater. And as far as the game is concerned, we're no longer driving a car, but rather a submarine. So that makes sense. We can see the east location here, even though we didn't look from the dock to see that a coral reef was over there. So that's a good sign. That means it's not something that we have to... we don't have to, like, waste a turn with a look command to unlock a move that we have to make. Let's return to our previous attempts at scanning through our options here. So let's push W and let's hope that we don't drown. Nothing happens. Okay. Well, that's peculiar. I would have thought that we could go west. I don't think that this would work, but can I look in the direction of west? Nothing special. Look E. Nothing special. That probably means that you can't look in directions, which I would not have expected anyway, but it was worth a shot. Would have thought you could go down. Well, we're already underwater. If anything, we should have been able to go up, I feel like. Well, there was supposed to be a coral reef or whatever to the east, so can we go... I mean, maybe we don't use the buttons in submarine mode. Well, we did use the button to go into the water, so that's probably not true either. But we'll try the different directions one at a time and see if anything happens. Okay. We pushed east, and we are still underwater. We can go further east. Push E. Okay. You see coral reef. Look, reef. Nothing special. Can we go reef? Like, is it a location? The game's got an interesting kind of nesting doll approach to like traversing and like whether things are in other locations or whatever is going on. We cannot go there. Okay. Is it because, okay, so if I type go house, okay, that means that can't go there doesn't specifically mean that we cannot go into or towards the coral reef. It may also have meant that me typing reef is just passing over the parser's head. If it had one. Go coral reef probably doesn't work. Go coral? No. Okay. Look. Coral? Nothing special. So this is a bit of a problem. The game not providing very helpful feedback. Like, I can kind of understand it in the sense that it can be less immersion breaking if you type something that the game won't give you anything for. You can kind of suspend your disbelief a little bit, so to speak, and just imagine that, you know, if I type, you know, look reef, and the game doesn't actually understand what I'm trying to do, but still tell us, oh yeah, you look carefully, but you didn't find anything. You know, then that's then that'll give you the sense that you were able to communicate with the game when in fact you weren't. But I don't think that that's great. Because then you instead have the issue of not knowing whether you are having a, you know, a two-way communication with the game, or if you're just talking to a wall. Pepe Paco, Sharpie, greetings, folks. Welcome. So I don't know. Given what we've seen so far, I would think that if there is a coral reef there, that it serves a purpose. Maybe we use our remote control. We push a button. The remote control that was just lying on the dock. Maybe it's a button. Maybe it's like a garage remote. Maybe I press a button and the coral reef opens up to reveal a hidden Aqua base. If that's the case, it's a little ridiculous. Like, the game is not doing much setup here to get us there. We're like starting 2 steps away from our submarine car. We just have to walk 2 more steps to pick up the remote control, step into our car, drive about 5 feet, turn it into a submarine, dunk it into the water, and like immediately press the button and go through a hidden tunnel. But I don't know, could be. The bigger question is, how do you even use the remote control? Use control? Coral reef? Oh, okay. So, because the manual gives the example, let me find what it said. It gives an example of like trying to open or like unlock something by typing like sequential commands. Yeah, it says here in the example game here, sample inputs, open door, and the computer will respond with, "Can't, it's locked," or "What?" And the implication being here, because the next command listed is with key, and it says key doesn't fit. That kind of makes it seem that if you type open door, the game will respond what, and then you can type with key to sort of stitch together the concept of opening a door with a key. But it could also be that if you just go to a room and type with key, it'll still respond key doesn't fit, and like that might be smoke and mirrors to give that sense, and maybe you have to use it in a completely different way. Yeah, I know there's a time limit, and of course the game can't be like, that's why I'm not worried about the save function, because within 90 moves there's a limit, of course, to, like, even in the extremely unlikely scenario that you need all 90 moves to clear the game, if you know exactly what to do, it shouldn't be too difficult, and you could always, like, find a solution or write down your steps and kind of figure it out. But I'm sure 90 will be plenty, if you know what to do. I'm sure you could easily run out of moves, but I'm not too worried. But even so, you know, it's not just a matter of, oh, it's funny that the location is so cramped. It's also like the fact that there's no flavor text, there's no background story, there's nothing. You just, like, James Bond just, like, awakens, spawns into some kind of reality, and it's like, well, I'm in a shack, here's my ID card, let me just step outside this door, and, like, my submarine car, let me just take one step further there to get my remote control. Like, it's it's a little contrived with no you know, kind of set dressing to make it a little more Bond like. It's just pretty funny. So if I look control, nothing special. Remote control is there. I'm just, because when I typed, when I picked it up, I could use the word control to sort of describe it, because I typed take control, which, again, very funny. And I could collect the item. But if I want to actually use it, so what was the hint? There was a hint mentioning the remote controller, right? Okay, well, it just says, don't forget the remote control. Once in the water, back you can't go. So we got ourselves a little bit of an elastic band type situation here. Except this time it was above the water surface. We'll need it for something, but maybe it'll become more obvious. We have at least one more screen to explore, so we can always check that out. But like right now, it's not that I'm convinced that the remote control will open the coral reef. I'm just a little perplexed that we have a remote control something or other, and I don't know how to use it, which means in a situation like this where I might want to try to use it, it'll be very difficult for me to know whether I have tried to use it and it didn't work, or if I don't know how to successfully attempt using it. So what if we type push control? Is it like, maybe it's like it's got a button on it or something? Reef opens. There we go. I'm a secret agent genius. Okay. So the coral reef does in fact open. Now I'm starting to think that we need to go inside the coral reef. But there's another screen of ocean. Screen is a bad word for it. Room. Square on the map. That we did not yet explore. So I guess we should try to do that to check, try to see if, like, because I'm guessing we're not going to be able to explore a huge space there. So I'm going to push W to go back. Push W again, and now we should be able to, yeah, and funnily enough, we can't go west from here, right? Yeah, nothing happens. Strange. But what if we try to go north? Okay. And there's nothing here. Look, nothing special. Look, ocean. Look. All right, as suspected, nothing there really. Okay, let's go south again. Push E. Push E. And we now see the coral reef. What's our time right now? 58 minutes left. Okay. So we're wasting a good number of moves here, but I'm not worried about it. Yes, every time you type a command, 1 minute passes, and you have 90 minutes to complete the game. So just thinking about it roughly, I would say you probably need about a dozen or so commands to get this far. So that means that getting this far probably represents at least 20-25% game completion, presumably. Like, guessing that there is some amount of margin for error. I think we might get through the game tonight. But there could be some complete nonsense that will block us later on, such as can we get inside the coral reef? Can we now go reef? Can't go there. Okay, so the directions east probably means, yeah, okay, so push E. Underwater passage, directions north. Reef closes. And again, it does not appear fruitful to attempt to survey your surroundings. So let's push N. Hit something. Better take a look. Okay, I guess we do have to look around. That's it. Oh, maybe we should exit the car? Look. Nothing special. Look. Passage. Look. Car. Look. North. Look around. Okay. So maybe we go out the car? Like, I don't think we have, like, scuba equipment or anything. Although, who knows? Maybe the game starts and Bond's already fully kitted in the scuba gear. You know, flopping around the docks with his, what do you call it? Like the fin swimming shoes, whatever. Flippers, yeah. You know, he could be. It's quite the visual to imagine James Bond suavely driving his sports car / submarines while wearing flippers and like scuba gear and everything. But maybe we just have to imagine it in our mind's eyes. Well, the worst thing that can happen is that we drown, right? Oh yeah, I was gonna say we can go out, but we can always press the brown button, right? Go out. Can't go there. That's why there's buttons instead of pedals. That is an excellent point for the poll. That must be it. That must be it. Man, now I want to see this car in a film even more, you know? Oh, can't go there. It appears that the only way to exit this car is to launch yourself out of it with the catapult seat. That is just excellent design. Q, you've done it again. Push brown. Oh, okay. We're getting a lot of information at once here. Location, dry ledge. You're ejected. Passage vanishes. Voice says, show ID. Okay. We're not quite flying across the Atlantic in 1 minute, but this is still a surprising amount of information to digest all at once. Okay. I suppose we bumped into, like, the dock or whatever. So we launched ourselves out of the car, just whoop, like on top of the dock or the dry ledge, and now we can see a door and a camera where we're being asked to show ID. So because we have an ID with our picture on it. I was gonna say, is this like the MI6 secret hideout we're getting ourselves into, or the evil lair? If we have like James Bond's secret agent ID. But I suppose it could be a fake villain ID that just has our picture on it. Either way, I think we're about to solve one of the game's maybe 3 puzzles here. Yeah, it must be a regular occurrence. That's, you know, once you get past the remote control coral reef garage door, you know, everyone's just in their personal submersible and hitting the eject button, just launching themselves, you know, out of the surface of the water, landing with their flippers on the dry ledge. Although I guess we're just landing in our pristine tuxedo. This game, the lack of fidelity in the game's descriptions, I mean, it does leave a few things to be desired, but it also does, you know, it's quite evocative because we're painting all these very delightful mental pictures of what is going on here. Okay, show ID. Well, we have our ID card, so... Oh, wait, what window am I in? Like something, there we go. Show card. Voice says you may pass. Alright, okay, we're in. Do we have to open the door, or do we just go north? We look, door. Nothing special. Open, door. Can't. Okay, then I guess just go north. Door disappears. It's pretty funny. You know, the Angelsoft games had a little bit of an issue where you could move around like a little too freely to the point where it was easy to get a little confused about where you could go and where you should go. A View to a Kill was even weird when like you go to Zoran's estate to do a bunch of snooping around and collecting a few items, and then you just have to decide when you're done, and you're like, oh, let me just go back to my car and drive for 2 seconds so I can get to the airport and just skip to the next part of the game. But the game doesn't like give you any information about that you're supposed to do that. You just have to decide that, yeah, I've collected enough items, so we're good to move the plot forward. This game is extremely aggressive about not letting me backtrack and not even giving me that many screens to explore. So, seems like we should be able to progress fairly quickly. I wonder if the hint, like the manual gave us hints for like, there's like 2 hints because there's 2 puzzles in the game. We needed the card, we needed the remote control, and we need to press a red button, something. Like, at this point, I think I should not read the other hint. Assuming that exiting the submarine by means of brown button ejection seat was like the correct move. Maybe the thing we bumped into was something we actually needed. But let's move forward for now. Again, we'll maintain the same level of or the same kind of approach to exploration. We'll check the east-western perimeter first before advancing further north. So let's go W. Blue hall. You see a camera and a closed door. Okay, look. Camera. Nothing special. Can I show ID here to get through? Show card. Door opens. Okay. Wait. What direction does the door lead to? Because the only direction I can move is east. And that would presumably take us back to where we went. Like, go door? Okay. The geography is confusing me a little bit now. Because when we were on the dry ledge, I could just walk north to go presumably through the door into the White Hall. But maybe I fucked up. Maybe I should have gone through the door. Or did I try to go through the door? I think I tried going door, right? Well, we'll see if we can figure this out. The directions indicator has been wrong before. It's hard to say, right? It's been a little ambiguous. I guess we can say that at least. I tried to look an open door, but not sure if I tried to go door. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, exactly. So I think, so it's possible that we never actually went through that door. Possible. Because the only direction here is east, which means that this could be, the observation room could be to the west of the blue hall or whatever. Time to get the graph paper? Possibly. Or at least MS Paint. Voice says show ID. So if I you know, it's not at all unlikely, I feel like, that any action besides the correct one will get me killed. Just like in the water. If you're underwater, like doing anything, although funnily enough, once you're in that point, at that point, even pressing the blue button is too late. It won't help you. But you have like one move until you die. So that could be a thing here as well. So I guess we should just show the card. ID not valid. Okay. Look, mirror. Nothing special. We take the mirror. Okay. Just laying our... you just go there and it's like, all right, here's my ID. And it's like, sorry, guy, you're not authorized to be here. Ah, too bad. Well, I'm just going to take this mirror and leave. All right. Okay, cool. Can we look window? Nothing special. Okay. You would think that a window in an observation room would have something that could be described in some fashion as special on the other side of the glass. But what do I know? Maybe I just live too mundane a life. Maybe I just cherish what's special about objects in a way that James Bond does not. He's seen it all. An observation room, doesn't matter what's on the other side of the glass, it's nothing special. You know, I can dig that. I can dig that. Okay, but so let's go east again. Blue hall, direction east. Didn't we have a north direction previously? Yeah, maybe we went south through the dock to get through here. I don't know if MS Paint graph paper map is going to help us. There's an open door, which is the door we opened. Okay. Well, okay, let's go east from here then. No. Okay, Whitehall. Yeah, okay. This is where the north... Got it. I got it. Okay. An underwater observation room could be to check out fishies. Maybe no fishies are showing. Well, I mean, I would argue that especially in the context of a text adventure, that might be worth explaining, if that is the case. But we may never know. Okay, so north. We're in another Whitehall. So for all we know, we might have failed to enter the door. I mean, I would have thought that we did successfully go through the door because we're like inside some kind of facility. But we could have missed something and accidentally entered. Seems unlikely, but... Canuck named text. Greetings. Is this a text adventure? It is exactly what you see before you. Which means yes. Alright, well, let's go further north. Another Whitehall. Go west. Red Hall. Okay. West. Maintenance room. Alright, there's a dead janitor. De-radioactivator. That is a word. This escalated quickly. Okay, let's look. Janitor. You find something. Janitor ID card. Okay. Take card. I'm just going to assume that we can show the correct card with a prompt, not really accepting more than one or two words. We'll see how that will work, but I don't know what the de-radioactivator is, but maybe by looking at one we can learn something. De-radioactivator. I mean, it is one word. It's very long, but... Oh, nothing special. It's just your regular everyday de-radioactivator. Got it. Okay. Can we take it? What size is it? Does it fit into a tuxedo, or is it like... industrial equipment? Like, I'm so, like, am I spelling correctly? De-radio activator. Okay, well, whatever one of those is, we were able to pick it up and collect it. De-radio activates radioactivated ores. All right. Would not have seemed to me that making something not radioactive was as simple as using a pocket-sized gadget on them, but I'm no radioactivity scientist. Well, it looks like we'll just go all the way back. However, I need to take another short break. Let me pause the timer here. Previously explained, unfortunately, and I apologize for the disturbances, but I have some laundry business I need to attend to. I need to go take care of some stuff. I'll be back in a couple of minutes, but I think we're going to afford a few extra breaks because it feels like we're going to beat this game pretty quickly. I could be wrong, but progress is seemingly pretty smooth and steady so far. Good luck on secret laundry mission. Yes, thank you. Hopefully it goes well. I'll be back in a little bit. Mission successful, so far at least. Laundry has been set to dry. And it should hopefully be dry in time for me to wear pants to work tomorrow. But we'll see. Anyway, I'm back. Thanks for the GG. Anyway, we've got our D-radio activator in our pocket. We have got our dead janitor's ID. I like that there's just a dead janitor. It's not, you know, did someone else infiltrate whatever place we're in to stealth kill the janitor? It's still a little ambiguous where we are and what we're doing. Is this the evil computer operator's Aqua base we are currently inside? I'm gonna have to assume yes. But he's so evil that he killed his own janitor for the, for the fun of it? Or did he forget his ID? Well, I guess he wouldn't have forgotten his ID because it was in his pocket. Let's just advance. Let's soldier on, push through, and see if we can make sense of any of this. Let's resume our timer. We have the ID, so we should be able to progress in the one other direction we could go. So let's just go. E. Red Hall. So we came from the west, so we should just keep going E. Whitehall. We can go south. Whitehall. We can go south. We can go west. At this point, I'm feeling more confident that we might not have to map stuff out. At least not in this section. Blue Hall. You see camera. Open door. So I guess I can't... Can I go west? Can't go there. Alright, so go door, then. Assuming we won't actually finish the game on this play, I will certainly attempt to go door on the dry ledge to see if that does anything different. Observation room. Voice says show ID. Okay, let's see how this works. In fact, let me in real quick. Alright, we have a pocket mirror. I guess we probably have to use that with the laser or something later on. And I'm saying that not because I specifically remember what the hint said. It might have. I just keep thinking back to the multiple places where it said that we need to backfire the laser, which I don't know what it means exactly. What I'm picturing in my mind is reflecting a laser. And if that's what you want to do, a mirror seems helpful. I don't know if the laser is going to be fired underwater, in which case, with light refraction and everything, I don't exactly know how that works, let alone reflecting it with a mirror, but I suppose we'll find out. So I have the ID card and the janitor ID card. Will the show card command show them the right one? I mean, we can try it. Show card. Window opens. Okay. The window opens. Okay. Directions E, O. We can now go out. Okay. So the direct, okay, so out is a direction, and it's not used for going out of a car. Um, hmm. But we can go through a window. I'm I'm really struggling to picture what the geography of this is now. I'm comfortable with it enough that I can like navigate the area in the game. But every time a new path opens forward, I'm thrown for a loop. So we're in an observation room, and there was a window. I was assuming that I'm thinking of, you know, like a fucking surgery theater or whatever, right? Or like, you know, some dangerous or like sensitive shit is going down here, and you have like observation windows up top to like look inside, or possibly, you know, the observation deck of, you know, a tower of some kind. But we're in an observation room, and we showed our ID, and a window opened, and it is now a direction that we can go out. Which I mean, any opening, you know, any doorway will technically lead out from where you are currently, you know. So I guess that's, you know, I guess that makes sense. But it's not like outside. It's not into the ocean, I would think. I'm assuming the camera is just to like indicate that someone is looking, so we can like show the card. Nothing special about the camera. Is there anything special about the window now that it's open? Sure isn't. Well, let's go out. Ledge. Well, technically, I suppose this entire thing maybe it's going to be above surface level, because we did pop out of the water to go inside. Okay, right. So we're not underwater. I guess that makes sense. We're on a ledge. There's a ladder leading down. Look ladder, nothing special. Look window. I'm like, can I close the window? I don't know that I would want to, because I don't know if I would have to go back, which again, I don't know what I would need to do that for. But I probably couldn't open it up. Well, okay. Let's go down the ladder. Okay, we're in a control room. We can go west, we can go up. We see the evil computer operator. There's a TV screen and a keyboard. The fucking evil computer operator. The manual says that killing is a command. Can we just kill him? Can we talk to him? Like, I'm just... observation room. Is the observation room to observe the control room? I guess that kind of makes sense. Like, maybe we're back to what I was expecting. It's just that the explaining the command for going through the window to go down as like going out feels backwards, but I mean, I guess that's probably the case. And there's nothing special about the fact that you could, through the window, presumably observe the evil computer operator, and the fact that it's the fucking main control room for world destruction. But I guess that's nothing special for James Bond. Look screen. Says laser up. Okay. Oh, there was something about the direction in the manual or something, right? Okay. Can we look at the operator? Anything special about him? You find a card. He's sleeping. So the fact that he's asleep was not like worth mentioning until we looked at him more closely. Well, okay, we're going full Metal Gear Dino Crisis here. We're just leveling up our key card, left and right here. Okay, take card. We probably need the ID card to operate the computer. Take the card. That's pretty sick. Like we've got this made up Bond villain, and he shows up in one scene, and he's literally asleep, and Bond just like, okay, I'll just snatch this card from his, breast pocket or whatever, and hack his computer. Oh, not even hack it. We're just socially engineering his computer to disable the laser and leaving, or whatever. Okay. He is evil, so should we like kill him while we're here? Maybe people are watching through the window. In which case, they would still perhaps have something to say about the fact that we're just waltzing through there. I mean, we got our janitor credentials. But I don't think that that would still somewhat raise suspicions if we steal the evil villain boss's ID card to start fucking around with his evil computer. Then again, in the ID check in the observation room, they presumably saw me through the camera that was in there, and that camera wouldn't be pointed down here also. So I think we're good. Yeah, evil computer operator, classic Bond villain. Classic. Okay, so laser, it says laser up. Can we look keyboard? Is there anything special about it? No, there isn't. Okay. But can we disable laser? What? Okay. Can we we can go west. Maybe that's the where we leave. Can we just use the keyboard? What? No. Okay. Can I type off? Don't say type. Okay. We turn off. What? Laser. Can we use computer? Can we operate computer? This is how we run out the time limit. James Bond just standing there frantically trying to come up with the correct grammatical structure. Like, this is fucking evil computer right here. We have to overcome this virtual mastermind to understand how to enter a single command to do a very simple thing. But I guess, yeah, well, we'll see. What makes the IT department evil? Well, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a department of evil computers. I think it's just this one particular computer operator that is evil. And I do think that that descriptor is fairly apt, given his apparent objective of destroying the world by means of Aqua base laser, from the sounds of things. Okay, so maybe we can do something else with the laser. Maybe I could show the card here. Show card. ID not valid. Okay. I'm gonna guess that's a generic, like, I don't think there is. If there is something to show the ID card to in this room, you would think that the computer operator's ID would be valid. So I suspect that that's not what's going on. I reckon it's just a generic response for when showing any ID card does not generate a solution. If I look at him more, is going to wake up, or can we find something else? He's sleeping. Okay. I mean, we could check west. Let me look at the manual real quick. Sample commands. Take, help. That's right, I forgot about that. We didn't really need it so far, presumably. unless we missed an elastic band somewhere. Inventory, look, go, open, ND, unlock, kill, pull, dig, break, push, eat, tie. Can we tie him up? I mean, I don't have any rope or anything. The fun will be to discover other commands that are needed to complete an adventure. We didn't really, you know... we didn't need to get too creative with the command so far. We pretty much have only... Yeah, we had to type show ID. Okay, I guess that's, you know... That's something that wasn't there. Can we tie operator? What? I guess not. Can we kill operator? What? Okay, nope, I guess not. Okay. I reckon we still will have to do something with the keyboard. But let's take a look and see what's westward. Hall, okay. We just left. I don't think we're done there. But, maybe we can scope out the escape route. Black Hall, north, south, east. Well, I certainly don't have too clear of a geographical overview here, but let's try to keep with what we're going with before and scanning from south to north. So let's go south first. The camera, which I guess means we can show ID. Or card, I should say. You may pass. And now we can go further south. Laser room. You see laser, okay. Okay, pretty good. It's up. Too late, the world exploded. And we got a little sound effect there. Alright, okay. Well, if the world exploded there, we ran out of turns. You know, I was being not overly frivolous, but not overly economical either. Let's just take stock of what we know and how to be more efficient. First part's pretty straightforward. We just go grab the remote control, we go back to the car, we drive into the ocean, we activate submarine mode. Well, actually, we should activate submarine mode first, then drive into the ocean. We go east, we use the remote, we continue through the underwater passage. Oh yeah, we need to take the card in the first screen too, of course. We keep going until we bump into something. We eject ourselves to the dry ledge. We show the ID. We attempt to go door on that screen to see if that does anything differently. Once we're inside the Aqua base, we go north first, and then we go whatever the north hallway leads us to get the janitor's ID. Then we backtrack, go to the observation room, show the card, and go inside the computer room. We take the ID card from evil computer operator, and I guess we keep exploring from there, because it's not clear. You know, going to the laser room, it says it's up. We can look at the laser. Maybe we can turn laser or something. Because when it says it's up, I would probably have read that as meaning it is it's operational. But because I have a vague recollection that, again, I don't really want to reread, the manual mentioned something about laser right or something. So I think it actually means it's like a direction. So we can make our way back to the laser room and try to turn the laser. Like, I would have thought in the computer room, because the screen told us the direction of the laser, that I could use the keyboard to, you know, control the laser, you know, from the control room. But maybe we need to do something. Maybe we need to manually do something. Maybe we need to put the pocket mirror on the laser or something. We'll see. What's up, the opponent? This secret mission is in fact not officially licensed, which is what made it qualify for the secret bonus mission list. Yeah, the Q funding situation is a bit of a it's sort of in limbo right now. We're not really collecting funds. We will sort of reset it all. Things got pretty sidetracked when I was sort of taking a break. Not to mention this game got funded like instantly because I got like a bunch of sub donations during Christmas and whatever. So once this game is done, we'll sort of check and reset the situation there. Because I don't want to burn through all the bonus games like before we can make more progress in the main mission list. But we will get all that sorted once this has been completed. Exactly. Q Branch needs to spend all of its money or it will not be allocated any funds next year. That's how it works. The world exploded, but luckily we can just try again. So I wonder if the car will be acting fucking weird this time. So previous game, no. Look, table. Take card. Go north. Good, we're not we're not inside the car. That's probably because we weren't, like, last time when we restarted, we were inside the car when we died. That probably makes it bug out a little bit. But now we're not, so we're good. Okay, we need to go north. And the remote control is just laying there on the dock. So we take control. And we can go south. We can go car. We can push the N button to drive north. We can push the blue button in our car. And nothing happens? I'm sorry, what? Is the car already a submarine? Is that another weird memory thing that just stays? Do we have to reset the computer to enable the use of the blue button? That's not how it worked last time. I was going to say that's not how it's supposed to work. I guess I don't know that, but it's definitely not how it worked last time. Well, we might as well just keep going then. Push N. You're underwater. I mean, okay. Either we can go east or something is borked and we'll just need to reset anyway. So east, or push E, rather. Okay, we can keep going. So we are a submarine. Our car was pre-submarined. Okay. Push E again. There's the coral reef. So push control. Reef opens. Push E. Reef closes. We're in underwater passage and we can now go north. Push N. Hit something. Better take a look. Push brown. Boop. You're ejected. Passage vanishes. Voice says show ID. See, right now there is no direction. We cannot go in any direction. So show card. Direction north opens up. You may pass. Okay. But let's just, for the sake of being thorough, attempt to go door. And it doesn't work. Wow, this game is wonderfully consistent. Okay, north. All right, Whitehall. Door disappears. It doesn't close behind us. It disappears. It fucking fades out of existence. This evil computer operator's got some amazing technology, that's for sure. Okay, so let's not go west because that's the observation room. We need our dead janitor ID first. So let's go north. North. West. A little different sound effect, but that's fine. West. Maintenance room. Oh yeah. Look. Janitor. Find something. Take card. We also need to take the radio activator. Not knowing what that is or how it's meant to be used makes it a little tricky to figure out, or to at least speculate and theorize on how it may be used later, but given the simplicity of the interactions in this game and the simplicity of everything, I feel like there's not going to be that many different places to even try using it, so we we should probably be fine. Now, granted, how one uses it is maybe the bigger question. Like, is the use verb a thing? I don't know. Because when we tried to look at it, it was nothing special, of course. Anyway, let's go east, east, south, south, west, blue hall, show card. Door opens. Did we need the janitor card for this? I don't think we did. But obviously we still have clearance, so that's fine. Oh yeah, so now we can still go east, but there's an open door, so we can now go door. Observation room. Take, oh yeah. Show card, might as well do that first. Window opens. Take mirror. I'm assuming the camera is not something we can take, by the way. Can't. Okay, just double checking. We'll waste a turn just to be sure. We can now go out into the, or onto rather, the ledge. And we can now go down. There's an evil computer operator. Let's take a quick look. Find a card. He is sleeping. Okay, take card. So I wonder if... Let's waste a turn. Actually, we may or may not beat it this time, but let's just kind of take stock of... Like, up until this point, I think we're doing everything correctly. I would have wasted maybe 2 or 3 turns here or there trying something. But assuming we don't need to be absolutely perfect... let's just look at the watch. 51 minutes left. Okay. So we have more than half of turns, like half the time limit is left. But it feels like we've done more than half the game. At this point, we have 51 moves, so I can be a little more exploratory. I do want to look at the screen just to check if it's like the same as before. Yeah, it says laser up. Can I use, like, if we're pretending I'm just like typing on the keyboard in this room, can I like do that? Can. Okay. This is like super complete guesswork. But because I vaguely recollect something from the manual, because this would have been guesswork with it, like, I feel like you would read the hint in the manual, or you would probably have no other way of knowing. So I'm gonna instead try laser right. Oh, no, that didn't work. Okay, maybe I'm misremembering. Or maybe I did turn off the laser right now. Well, let's go west. West again. Go west again. Black hole. So we can go north from here. The thing is, I can go to the laser room, but I wouldn't exactly know what to do there. So I feel like I might as well go north and see what's there, because there might be something obvious. Something that we want to bring into the laser room or something. So I'm going to go north and check. Camera. Okay, so show card. You may pass. Okay, north. Generator room. Okay. A generator, a diving suit, and a closed hatch. So this looks like our escape route. Okay. The other end of the linear hallway was in fact our escape route. Okay, that makes sense. Look, generator. Cannot be shut down until the laser is fired. Oh, okay. So we can probably fuck up the laser with the mirror or something. We go back to the computer room. We fire the laser. And then we go back here. And then we can shut down the generator. I was like, as soon as I said it, I was like, shut down. That's 2 words. Will that even work? But hey, laser down worked. I don't know if that was correct, but probably better than laser up. Okay, I think we're possibly on the verge of finishing this. I'm just excited to see, you know, trying to look at something and the game giving us some feedback. That's more than we got from Operation Stealth for the most part, although this game is not that different in the sense that the only explanations or descriptions you ever get are ones that are like 100% vital to progression. Either way, let's go back to the laser room and see if we can do something. Oh, there's the D-radio activator. Yeah, I'm curious how that's going to be used. Maybe after we fuck with the laser and the generator and shit, all this is nuclear and we need to radioactivate ourselves or something. I don't know. For now, let's go south. Go, whoops. Go card. You may pass. We can now go south. And we are in the laser room. So can I turn laser? Nope. Can I place mirror? Can I mirror laser? No, I feel like the mirror should be something. Like surely we need to do something here. Look laser. Nothing special. When I went here and I looked at the laser and I game overed, didn't it say the laser was up or something? Maybe we can push laser. Nothing happens. Nothing notable about the death laser that will blow up the word. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's take a look at the verbs again. Again, these are just samples, but open, break, push, eat, tie, dig, pull. Oh, we can pull the laser. It definitely said laser was up, yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. James Bond spending the last moments on Earth just yanking and pulling and trying to, you know, maneuver this giant death laser. Nope. What about... I mean, you would think a laser, like, given that the world exploded seemingly the instant the laser was fired, I'm not sure if pointing it in a different direction is gonna, like, be that effective. But also, I guess, how is reflecting it gonna help? A laser beam that hits planet Earth, destroying the Earth. We're not deflecting it into space, are we? Assuming that's even what we're doing. Okay. Well, we were able to change laser to down. And I feel like we could probably go to the computer room and type fire laser. Also, it would, like, I'm greatly amused by the seeming fact that the grand villain of this adventure, evil computer operator, appears to be asleep for his entire appearance. It's probably a first for a Bond villain. But maybe he wakes up to do something. We'll see. Just having a nap. Yeah, I mean, sure. You know, that's a privilege. As an evil villain, you know, you have nap privileges. That's fine. I'm not judging him for that. I mean, he is evil, but not because he's taking a nap. From let's say a drama standpoint, it's a little bit unusual of an approach to have the antagonist just be there sleeping and not really have much of a conflict with our hero. But that, you know, I'm happy not to have to deal with them. That's fine. Can we use the D-radio activator? Of course not. It's possible that we could, like, I'm just trying to figure out what the purpose of this room is. I'm half tempted to use the help command or read that other hint in the manual. Like, the remote control hint was kind of like, oh, well, there's an object there, and it's pretty self-evident that once you go into the water, you can't go back. Like, it's not an extremely useful hint. Which I don't know if that means that the whatever hint was about the laser is going to be equally useless, or if it's going to be super crucial. I mean, I guess the point is, either it's going to be useless in the sense that it's telling us self-evident information, or it's going to be so vital that reading it won't solve something I would have taken pleasure in figuring out myself. You know what? Screw it. Let's take a look. Mirror backfires laser right. Push the red button or die of fright. Okay, yeah, alright. So I wasn't completely off base about the mention of the word right. But I think it's more about... It maybe doesn't have anything to do with direction. And more about filling your weird rhyme with words. Push the red button or die of fright doesn't really make a lot of sense. I haven't come across any red buttons just yet, but it does mention the mirror, okay, right? So that makes sense. Mirror backfires laser right. Push the red button or die of fright. And again, that's not really a spoiler. That was like literally the first thing I thought when there's like a mirror. Oh, like, okay. Can we use mirror? Attach mirror? Set mirror? Like, what do we do with the mirror? There's like nothing here. And like using an item on another item. Mirror laser. We're like probably running out of turns right now too. So I want to make it back to the computer room to see if I can attempt to fire laser. Maybe we show mirror. Show is at least a command. Well, no matter. I'm gonna travel back through the hallway into the control room. Okay, so I could type laser down. So what if I attempt to fire laser? Okay, activate. Nope, okay. Push red. Nothing happens. There probably isn't a red button. At least not here. You know what? We might as well just see what this help command even does. So I'm curious to just type it out just to see. We're, again, probably running out of turns very soon. Interesting. Look, screen, laser down. So it appears that the help command is essentially giving us the exact solution for what to do in this particular screen. And we've already done exactly this. So that feels good. That's validating, and it also means that it didn't tell me anything I didn't want to know. I suppose this means, like, presumably, because it told us something we've already done, that means that it's not gonna like keep track of our progress to give us an appropriate hint. It makes sense to me, because it would like logically be an extremely easy command to implement. To just have, you know, you type the word help on any screen, and what ends up happening is there's a predetermined string for this screen that just says look, screen, laser down. Um, and that probably means that for the majority of screens that are like empty hallways, typing help won't result in anything because there is nothing to do in those screens. And that could very well mean, like, that could be essentially what the manual means by, like, oh, it'll only give a vague hint, it'll help you sometimes, you have to figure stuff out, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, it's because the help command is simplistic to the point where it cannot give you precise information. It will also sometimes, very simply depending on which screen you are in, either give you something or give you nothing. That's my read on that. But that should mean that we could, like, I guess it doesn't mean necessarily that laser down is the only thing we have to do in here. You know, maybe if we enter this room, the first thing it'll say is look operator or something, but probably not. So maybe it won't even give you the hint that you can / must get the operator's key card or ID card. But this does presumably mean that we can go to the laser room, type help, to see what the command is. I'm of two minds of, like, what I feel about that, because on the one hand, if it tells us what to type to, like, use the mirror, I'm gonna be sort of relieved to be like, all right, I had the right idea, I just needed help with you know, verbiage. Or the alternative is that it tells me something that I didn't think of at all, and it will deprive me of the satisfaction of having figured out what to do rather than how to phrase it. You know, the generator room, like, thinking of what we haven't done yet or what we haven't kind of fully explored. The generator room up north has the diving suit and the hatch, and it says the generator won't turn off until the laser has been fired, which I feel like doesn't make sense on several levels. But what my adventure game brain is telling me is that, you know, if something tells me this object will not X until Y has been completed, then that is a pretty heavy implication that Y should be completed, and subsequently that the object should be X. In this case, the laser should be fired so that I can shut down the generator, even though I have no idea what shutting down the generator is supposed to accomplish. Does shutting down the generator allow me to open the hatch so I can leave? Will shutting down the generator, like, make the Aqua base self-destruct? Does it disengage the lock on the hatch? I don't know, but I'm going to assume that one of these is true, and even the game won't care too much about the details. You know, in simple terms, I believe it's probably a progression trigger of some kind. The D-radio activator is definitely still a rather large mystery. But I suppose, man, I don't want to just, like, well, I'll just go to a place and type help. I don't want that to be like the what I just do from here on out to finish the rest of the game. But I'm also, like, sort of out of ideas. The parser is so limited, and the responses you get are even more limited, that it's not super engaging or fruitful to attempt to, like, you know, poke at things from different directions. Yeah, what's up, KB? Has the manual been lying too much tonight? No, it's been this manual very, very brief, but you know, so is the game. No misinformation really. It gave us a few hints that seemed relatively self-evident. I feel like the game isn't quite complex enough to let the manual give us a bunch of details that aren't correct. That hasn't been too much of a worry. Like, we've basically gotten, well, I don't want to say that we basically beat the game, but this game seems extremely basic, to the point where I'm like, man, is this what games were in 1982? I can't imagine being like too terribly excited about this game if I'd played it back then. I mean, for all its weirdness, Shaken But Not Stirred, also from 1982, was like way cooler than this. But let's not get hung up on that. It's currently 9:14 p.m. and I do definitely want to wrap this up before the end of the stream. So let's see if we can do that. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go to the laser room and type help just to see if we first of all, if we have time, but also if it'll tell me something useful. Because if it doesn't, then I will be glad that I did it already and not just like wait even longer and then use it and then like not get anything for it. So let's see if we can even make it there. We might be out of time because we've kind of run back and forth a little bit. This game is indeed a text adventure, and it's, I would say, by a fairly large margin, the most simplistic one I've ever played. There's like very, very little text. The geography of where you can go is extremely limited and linear. It's like, it's very, very simple. Okay, so south to the laser room. There's a 90 turn limit, which is why I'm talking about time about to run out. And when the timer runs out, i.e. you run out of turns, the evil computer operator's laser is fired and the world explodes. Alright, we're in the laser room. Let's see what help gives us here. Something to do with mirror! Okay, see? I'm glad. I don't feel bad about using this hint because that is literally exactly what I was trying to do. So we did the right, like, yeah, there's so little you can do, so doing something feels like pretty obviously the right choice. And yeah, we need the mirror something here. So I doubt that we would use it with some other inventory object. I tried place mirror, I tried put, set. I don't think, like, drop mirror seems like a... I don't think we'd just, like, drop it on the floor. Use mirror, I'm pretty sure I tried. I think I tried mirror laser. I didn't try laser mirror. Let me look at the manual verb list here. Take, go, look, open, unlock, kill, pull, dig, break, push, eat, tie. Yeah, I didn't try show. We know that show is a command because we had to show cards constantly. So let's try show mirror. Okay. Hold mirror. Hatch. Like, I'm picturing the lasers there, and we're gonna, like, you know, put the mirror there somewhere so that the laser beam will fire it, you know, and it'll be reflected. So we need to, like, you know, place it, install it, attach it, set it, do something with it. Is what I'm thinking. Something to do with mirror is what the game helped us out with. I mean, I don't think we're supposed to drop the mirror, but, like, Because I feel like drop is sort of a command I would expect to exist in a game like this, where like if you use this command, well, you know, if I can drop the mirror and it will like place the object in the room, maybe that's how the game sort of checks for it, right? Like that means that the mirror is no longer in my pocket, it is now in the room, and if the mirror is in the room, maybe that means the laser beam will hit it. Okay, didn't work, but it was worth a shot. Like there was a logic. There was some logic behind attempting to type that and see if it would work. Yeah, KB, you know, parser battles is generally a thing, but it hasn't been much of a thing in this game. Not, you know, non-existent, but you do so little. Like 90% of the commands have been directions, take, show card, or like push buttons. Like there's been very little doing. Well, we have looked at a few things, I guess. But 9 times out of 10, looking at things just says nothing special. So, well, we're not really. We're not helped by just sitting around thinking, like, even if we game over right now, we can get back here so quickly, we might as well just, you know, check off all the options that we have and try them instead of, like, being afraid to try something. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to check my inventory just to see if there was something I had forgot that I was carrying. We got the pocket mirror. What if I break the mirror and we just have glass shards everywhere? Yeah, we have a bunch of ID cards, and that's fine. Ooh, excuse me. The watch lets us know how many turns we have left. The D-radio activator we collected in the maintenance room, I think, and I have no idea what it is or how to use it. So I just have to assume that what we're meant to do in this room is verb mirror. You have a guess? Go for it. That's fine in this case. I'm not too fussed with the problem-solving aspects here, because if you have an idea for what we're meant to use or do with the mirror, align mirror. Sure. I mean, that's just a matter of kind of phrasing the same idea I had, I feel like. So, we can try that. It seems doubtful that a word like that would work, but we'll try it. Nah. No bueno. Let's try verbs. Nope. No, I mean, it was worth a shot. It was no worse than any of my ideas. Can we open the laser and put the mirror inside? Can't. But sometimes if you type a legitimate verb, it'll give you that. The manual also specifies, by the way, that the parser will only accept 1 or 2 words. So we kind of know, at least if the manual is to be trusted, which seemed to be the case, because I tried to like take remote control and it didn't work, but take control did work. But that means that like we cannot get too elaborate in our attempts here. We can't like place mirror on the side of laser, blah, like, you know, it's just place mirror, drop mirror, set mirror. All of which I believe I tried. I tried to push and pull the laser. Push mirror. Close. Reflect laser. Sure. I mean, I guess that's possible. I guess I wouldn't have thought of it that way because it's not presumably as if the laser is currently and permanently firing. And we also set the laser from laser up to laser down, which I think maybe means we disabled or like we turned it off, or I don't know. I believe I tried mirror laser, but I am not positive if I tried laser mirror. We can try that. Reflect laser. Like, I don't have any problem like crowdsourcing the verbiage here to get it to understand what we're trying to achieve. It's a little different from like dropping hints on how a puzzle is meant to be approached. So let's laser mirror, because when we had like a typed a command in a keyboard, laser down just worked. So maybe even if it makes no real logical sense, maybe this game can accept the word laser like as a verb or something. Yeah, like try not to go too crazy with like just typing out too much ahead of time or anything. But if I'm like sitting here thinking of how to prop the mirror up somewhere on whatever this laser machine looks like, such that when it is fired, it'll bounce off the mirror, then I'm cool with trying different things. Joshua Turbo, what is up? Happy Monday to you as well. Nope, that doesn't work. But okay, reflect laser? Nah. Reflect is a good idea though, as like a verb. But that seems more like laser beam is coming at us and we have to like just hold up the mirror to reflect it. But that's a good idea, I'm surprised we haven't exploded the world yet, by the way. Seems like the time would be running out very shortly. Something to do with mirror is what the help screen said. Tie is... Oh, maybe we tie the mirror to the laser? I don't know. Maybe we don't. Place, attach. I tried breaking the mirror. I tried show mirror. Give mirror? I don't know. Fill, pull, dig. Pull mirror? Nothing happens. Okay. It probably says nothing happens, but not because, I don't know, it's just like it's a verb that actually exists. As opposed to the nonsense that we've tried. Like, because the manual gives a bunch of sample commands, but it specifies that help is only for Aqua base, which implies that all the other ones are more generic for use in other games, which probably means that there's no guarantee whatsoever that this particular game actually uses any of those commands. Like eat probably isn't a command that we use in this game, but it still gives it as an example. I'm a bit stumped here, actually. I was hoping we would get through this, or I was expecting us to get through it more smoothly here. But now it's the worst, because now I'm like second guessing whether I tried all the commands I thought that I tried, so now we're gonna like waste turns just double checking them all. Put mirror? No. What if I just type mirror? Nope. Insert mirror? The verbs listed in the manual are as follows. And it says sample commands. Take, help, Aqua base only. Inventory, go, north, down. That's example directions. Look, open, unlock, kill, pull, dig, break, push, eat, tie. And then it says, the fun will be to discover other commands that are needed to complete an adventure. The hint given for this, well, there's 3 hints. Hint number 1, the help feature only provides limited information. It won't always help you if you get stuck. Fair enough. We've experienced this. Hint number 2, don't forget the remote control. Once in the water, back you can't go. Which, bit of a weak rhyme there, but pretty it's obvious. Then it says, hint number 3, mirror backfires laser right. Push the red button or die of fright. Which is like, okay, yeah, we need the mirror to backfire the laser, which is what we're supposed to do. I don't know about right or red button or die of fright, but maybe we just backfire laser using our mirror. I don't know what backfire a laser means exactly. I mean, I can sort of figure out what they are trying to say, but with what? Mirror. Maybe I need to type with mirror. Backfire laser with mirror. Okay, we just backfired the laser with the mirror. Okay, has the laser been fired? Was backfire, like, does that mean reflect? Or does it mean, like, sabotage the laser? Did we just, stick our finger in the barrel so that the Looney Tunes rifle is going to explode when fired? I mean, it was right there, literally on the front cover of the game. It says we have to backfire the laser. I should have thought of that much sooner. I mean, let's see if so what happened? I mean, okay. Input accepted. So at this point, I'm sure we probably won't have time to leave, but maybe we can get out with sort of a hair's breadth. Did that mean the laser fired and the generator can now be turned off? Let's find out. North. We're in the black hall. Keep going north. Generator room. Okay, so when we looked at the generator, it said cannot be shut down until laser has been fired. I backfired the laser with the mirror. Does that mean the laser has been fired? I don't even know. Can I shut down what? Generator. Oh, okay. I mean, we can take the suit. Suit is radioactive, so we die. Okay. Well, that's what the deradioactivator is for. I don't know exactly how to use it, but let's try deradioactivate suit, maybe. We're making good progress here. We're making good progress. Yeah, I don't know if there's much content, on the internet for Aqua Base. I've certainly had other games, like some of the educational stuff in the Batman project, where if you like Google, like if you go on Google or YouTube or you type like some of the names for those, like my streams are like among the top results for sure. That maybe that'll be the case for this one. Who knows? Would be very surprised if someone streamed this before. Yeah, there might be. Well, I was gonna say there might be something on YouTube, but I guess I don't know if Lord Slouchy has done a lot of World of Long Plays videos of text adventures. Like, is that a common YouTube video category? Probably not. But anyway, let's try again. Did it break? Something happened. Okay. I paused for a second. My computer fans started spinning up, which I'm not sure about that. Anyway, restore previous game. No. Welcome. Look. Table. Cake. Cards. We got the James Bond ID card here with our picture on it. We can now go north. You see a car on the beach. We're going to get in that car shortly, but first we're going to go north once more. We're going to take the remote control. Oops, take control is what you type. Got it. Go south. Let's go car. Okay. Door closes. So we now have to push these directional buttons on the dash to actually drive the car. So let's push north. Okay, we're in the dock. So when we first play this, I had to push the blue button to transform the car into a submarine before I drove into the ocean, or else even attempting to transform the car once I was in the water, like no matter what I did, I just drowned and died. But on our most recent attempt, when I came to this screen, I typed push blue and it said nothing happens, because presumably we had similar kind of bugs like this before. Like, as far as the game was concerned, the car is already a submarine, so it's like retaining the submarine transformation state from the previous playthrough. We're going to play a little bit risky here and assume that that is still the case, so we're going to save ourselves a turn by not pressing blue. We're just going to drive straight into the ocean in this Schrodinger's submarine car, which may or may not be a submarine, and we'll just find out if we drown when we try to go east or not. And if we do, this is literally like the third screen, so we can start over. It's no big deal. In fact, describing this thought process probably took more time than restarting it would have done. So let's just push N and drive into the ocean. Bloop, we're underwater. Okay. Push, yeah, exactly. If we die, it wasn't a submarine. Push E. We're alive. Turns out our car was a submarine the whole time. Push E. Okay, there's a coral reef. We use our garage remote control. Push control. Very good logical English here. Reef opens, and we can now go further east. Yeah, oh, man, don't talk to me about elastic bands. At least there aren't any like hidden objects in this game. Okay, we're in the underwater passage. The reef closes and we can only go north. So I wonder if like pushing brown here will kill us or something. But if we go north, you hit something, better take a look. Oh, maybe I don't... Oh, yeah, I don't even think I have to go north. We should probably... Yeah, because we're in this... Oh, yeah, we literally just have to press brown and we eject ourselves out of our submarine car to end up on the dry ledge. So we technically wasted a turn here, I think, but that's fine. Push brown. You're ejected. Passage vanishes. Voice says show ID. It's like a lot of rapid fire info here. Show card. Voice says you may pass. And we can now go north. There were no directions previously. Okay, now we're in the White Hall. Now we go find the dead janitor. So that we can steal his ID and the D-radio activator. Man, it annoys me right now because I feel like I should have looked at the generator before we died so that I can see if the description had changed. Oh, but maybe we backfire the laser, then we go to the computer room and we type laser up again, and that will actually activate the whole whatever, and then we try to leave. I still don't understand exactly what the generator does, but I'm assuming it's something to do with opening the hatch. Anyway, we can get back to that point more quickly now, so that's fine. Door disappears. Yeah, it doesn't close, it just disappears. So let's go north. North. West. West. Look, janitor. You find something. His dead janitor ID. Take card. Take D-radio activator. Okay, let's go east. East. South. South. West. There's a camera and a closed door, and at this point we've learned that a camera means show card. Door opens. And this screen you don't go west, you just go door. We're now in the observation room. Voice says show ID. Okay, let's show him our janitorial privileges. And we are now authorized. So let's take the mirror. And we can now go out to the ledge. And we can go down. And we are now in the control room. The evil computer operator is sitting there, but he's asleep. I like that it says you find a card first. Like, oh shit, it's got a card. It's like, oh, and he's sleeping. You think that's like a little more pertinent, but that's fine. Yeah, he's not very intimidating, is he? I mean, granted, he can explode the world, which is a pretty formidable, you know, powers he has. But let's see if we can, you know, let's not make fun of him just yet, because he has successfully exploded us and killed us through radiation and thwarted our attempts at saving the world on a few occasions now. Got a better track record than Bond as far as this game is concerned. Okay, look screen. It says laser. It says laser down because it's retaining the state of the laser being down from our previous play. Okay, sure, fine. Let's go west. West a few turns, then we are in the black hole. We can now go south. Show our operator card. You may pass. We're gonna go south, and we're in the laser room. Okay, so backfire laser with mirror. So I'm assuming this means that this has consumed the mirror from our inventory. Does not. Okay, that's interesting. But maybe the base already exploded. Who the fuck knows? I'm tempted to try this with the laser up to see what happens then. Because we went to the computer room on a previous attempt, and I typed in like fire laser, activate laser, and that didn't work. But if up or down means whether the laser is active or not, now that we have backfired the laser with the mirror, maybe we should put the laser up again. Takes 2 minutes to get here, so let's try that. Or maybe we're done, and I just need to dereact, you know. Yeah, let's try. Let's spend our remaining time on this Earth attempting to figure out how to de-radioactivate the suit. So we can look at the suit, hopefully, without it killing us. It's radioactive. Okay, that's good. It actually tells us. Look generator. Cannot be shut down until the laser is fired. Alright, so that doesn't tell us whether... Strictly speaking, doesn't tell us whether the laser has been fired now or not. I'm guessing no, but fine. Can we de-radioactivate suit? Fuck, did I spell that correctly? I feel like I wrote sut and not suit. Yeah, okay. Good. Alright, that doesn't work. Use de-radio... Like, that's the thing. It's a very convoluted word, but if it exists as the name of an item, it will recognize it, right? But it doesn't mean that you can necessarily like turn it into a verb. But maybe we have to like clean suit and then like with data radio, whatever. Use de-radio activator. You know, maybe we could, let's just try with de-radio activator. Without the first part of the sentence. Okay, that didn't work. Can we clean suit? No. Will you like decontaminate? It seems absurd for it to possibly recognize words like this. Can we let's try help on this screen. Push red. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, this was in the manual. Says mirror backfires laser right, push the red button or die of fright. At no point... Well, okay, let's look at the hatch. Nothing special. There's no indication that there is any red buttons here. But maybe the red button opens the hatch, or maybe it deactivates the generator. Did we look deradioactivator? Yeah, that's the first thing I did, because I don't know what the fuck it is, and I was hoping the game would explain it to us. Assuming it's not different on this screen. You see red button. Maybe it's different because I have it in my inventory, or because I'm in this room. Okay, well, that helps explain what the red button is attached to. So push red. It works. Okay, take suit. Okay. Can I wear suit? Okay. Can I open hatch? Okay. Can I go hatch? Did we? Okay. Location, ocean. Directions up. I see nothing. Okay. I'm assuming up will bring me back to the hatch. West, you can't go there. Okay. If I can't go anywhere or do anything, that means we're probably not done. It could go up to the surface, that's very true, but I just assumed that the hatch was like, you know, we went down through the hatch, but maybe it was a hatch in the wall and we just enter the ocean. Maybe we beat the game now, who knows? Up. Oh, location, on ocean. Okay, yeah, I guess we hit the surface. We needed that diving suit, the radioactive diving suit, to spend like 10, well, I guess technically 1 minute, right? Because each turn is 1 minute in the ocean, so fair enough. Okay, south. Congrats. Okay, there was a quick countdown there. We had like 8 minutes left or something. Aqua base blows up. You win. Thanks for playing. Get Haunted House from ASD&D today. All right. Okay, we're done. Can't wait to get Haunted House. I gotta admit, I'm not like that excited about it. If it's anything like this, then you know, I'll probably get by. I mean, this was really fun, just to kind of like to experience and to like to place it in the context of all the other Bond games and everything. I think it's really fun and cool. But this was like not much of a game. Like I said, you know, even before we finished it, like, you know, how excited would I have been to play this? I mean, it doesn't even have any pros. Like, there's nothing going on here. Like I said, this is like orders of magnitude simpler than any text adventure game I've ever experienced. I feel like the novelty of the interaction, like if this was like in the 70s, this would have been like you would never have experienced anything like it. But even by 1982, I feel like, I mean, this I'm sure could have been several people's first experience with this type of game. And I wouldn't dismiss the idea of like having a good time with it. Plays like the first attempt created by a young teenager. It kind of does, yeah. I mean, in fairness, it was advertised as for the beginner adventurer. But I feel like the way this game functions, with the same limitations and the same, like, system, I don't feel like you even could make anything, like, more compelling or exciting. Technically, you could make something more difficult, I suppose. But, nothing about it is particularly evocative of Bond or otherwise. Not exactly Zork. It's not exactly shaken but not stirred either. Yeah, it does kind of make me wonder if Scott Morgan was like, you know, some teenage tinkerer or a, you know, computer engineer. without the manual, I'd still be sat searching for backfire. I mean, that's definitely like I sort of can't believe we got that like. But you know, again, to be fair, the hint tells us to backfire, and again, the premise of the game, like the explanation on the front cover, literally says exactly that. You know. He's hidden in his Aqua base. Can you find his hideout in time to destroy the laser? Wait, doesn't it say? Oh, maybe it was somewhere else. I know for sure. Yeah, there we go. The objective. You have 90 minutes to backfire the laser and escape from the Aqua base. I guess, you know, maybe that lends some credence to the teenager developer. Like they didn't really know what the word backfire meant, but they just implemented it that way, and then like, well, that's what you have to do. It's not Bond, it's Secret Agent 007. Okay, I mean, sure, fair enough. But there you have it. In 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 4 seconds, 007 Aqua base has been completed. I also just now realized that what this image depicts, it's like a dock. I thought this was like a side view and we saw something like below the water surface, but no, I guess it's just like a first person view of standing on a dock, and I don't know, maybe the circle is the coral reef entrance or something. I'm not sure what's going on. But let me real quick go to the spreadsheet here. Let me type this in chat if you want to follow along. I still haven't quite set up a good way to show this on stream, and I will be I gotta wrap up very quickly now to take care of my laundry before it's too late. So we won't linger for too long. But 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 04 seconds. Completed with light use of the in-game help system. And relying on hints from the manual, sort of. I mean, it really was only like figuring out the red button, and I feel like I would have probably tried push red even without looking at it, but it would have been very funny if I hadn't looked at the radio activator. Which, by the way, even having not read the hint, if I looked at it and I saw there's a red button, I would have tried to push it to use it. But like, it would have been funny to just type push red without knowing exactly what it would do, and the game just responds, it works. But anyway, we did it. I feel like this was entirely within the spirit of how you would have played this legitimately in 1982. So I don't feel like we did anything uncouth to achieve this or anything. So I'm going to change the color of this over here in the spreadsheet. We're going to unbold it, and it is no longer up next. It is, in fact, complete. This was started on 2023-04-10, and it was, in fact, completed on the same day. That means that up next will be from the 007 Action Pack, Lord Bromley's Estate. And in fact, next Games Bond stream will most likely be a double feature, because I don't think this will take 2 hours, let alone 2.5 hours plus laundry time to complete. And it is called the Action Pack because it had multiple games, one of which was Q's Armory, also known as Q's Shooting Range. We'll talk more about this bundle, which is pretty interesting actually, when we get to it. But we will listen to the audio cassette briefing featuring Desmond Llewellyn, who was never shy to lend his voice and appearance and likeness to anything that would provide him a paycheck. It would seem. But yeah, these are ZX Spectrum exclusive light gun games released in 1990, so that should be pretty exciting. I am currently not positive whether we will play these games on Wednesday or if we will put it off a little bit longer, because I don't currently have everything set up. I have everything I need to set it all up, but because I was able to set it all up on my old PC, but I don't have everything configured here yet. And I don't know that I will have time to do it tomorrow night. So most likely, I think we'll play something else on Wednesday, and then maybe we'll come back to Bond on Saturday. I also just now realized that I completely forgot to set up a new community challenge for the next Viewer's Choice versus Fighting Game Friday night bonus stream. So, whoops. We'll get that sorted by Wednesday. Anyway, this has been fun, and we will wrap it there. Like I said, I'm in a little bit of a hurry, so I probably don't have time to set up any kind of elaborate raid or anything. Maybe I'll check something real quick to see if I find a raid target. But we will wrap things there and return to Games Bond in the near future. Yeah, ZX Spectrum and Light Gun is name a less iconic duo. I was very stunned to learn about those games myself, and I actually made additional discoveries regarding this box set just tonight as I was collecting a little more information. Pretty fascinating stuff, and we will go over all of that when we get to it on the next Games Bond stream. In any case, this was fun. Thank you very, very much for hanging out, everybody. I'll see you guys with video games of some type on Wednesday evening. Until then, take care. Thank you very much for hanging out. I'll see you guys around, and goodbye.